thinking today. I want to cover quickly some details about the runners themselves coming into this round. This is the first match of the round. And as we get started, I'll come back to that because we have flippers in the Sanctuary that's worth noting here today. And he does a soft reset because he wants to do the Houlihan strategy before picking up those flippers later. So he's going to get those flippers later. But Kyong defeated Nin Taylor in the first round, the round of 32, in a 2-1 margin. His first loss of the tournament, actually. He went 50-0 in the brackets. And Rywek defeated Sonicam 2-0 in his first round. This is how they got to this round today.
That is right there. And not only did we find the flippers inside of the Sanctuary, we found the hook shot right away from Link's house here. So we got two major items in the starting locations available right for the pit taking.
This is looking like a friendly seed already, which means we're going to have some problems coming up, I'm pretty sure. So Kyong, as I noted, immediately doing the Houlihan strategy before going back to pick up the flippers. You can't do this particular setup that he was doing with the flippers in hand, which is why he did a quick soft reset there. Rywek does not soft reset. He's just going to accept that he has the flippers now, and he's going to, I guess, hope the money is somewhere else.
Well, there's plenty of money to go around in the seed as a whole, so hopefully some of it will end up in these early spheres, and we'll be able to go through there right away. But we got both runners going in the opposite directions almost immediately. Looks like Rywek's going to be setting up a Houlihan of his own, but he can't because he has the flippers, and so
he will
have to go somewhere else.
He's just going to save and quit.
What do you mean I'm not drowning?
What? I can swim? So Kyong is heading over to check the race game to see if it's worth picking up before actually investing the time. It was a key, so he's going to have to invest the time. Now, there's two strategies for dealing with race game. You can either check the item and then go get it if it's something you want, or you can just go right in and go get it. Depending on what kind of item is up there, either method could save you time or cost you time. In this case, Kyong is losing time checking the item, whereas if he had just gone right in, he would have had the no time loss whatsoever. But if it's something you don't need, you're wasting time going to get that item as well.
Now, one thing of note there is that this is also all dungeons key sanity as well. So there are several keys that we are going to need that we don't normally need, such as the ones in Castle Tower for most of the race.
So we've concluded that the key that Kyong just picked up was one that we probably don't need too badly. It's one of 4 Ganon's Tower keys. We're probably not going to need even 2 of those. Rywek finding a compass in the Lost Woods for Desert Palace. He also found the big key for Tower of Hera. So that is now open to us as well.
As much as they may not wish for it to be there, that tile room is a big time sink if you don't if it ends up being nothing.
It does. So Kyong is finding the chest in the back of the tavern. There's our big key for Palace of Darkness. So that's 2 big keys that we have found so far today.
That's always a good thing to have there. Because, yeah, you don't really want to enter any dungeon until you have as many keys as you can think you can get away with to get to the end.
Correct. And I think Kyong, he doesn't have a ball yet, so he can't do Sick Kid. He's going to go to the chicken hut right now, and we're going to see if we get a chicken clip from him while Rywek goes to check the back of Blind's hut. Kyong takes damage from a bomb that he failed to throw. And let's check the dual items. We have bombos in the back of Blind's hut. Just bombs in the chicken hut. There's the bow in Blind's hut. So bombos and the bow. He doesn't check the back room. Oh, he doesn't have any bombs. That's why. Okay.
That might be an important thing there. Perhaps there's some under this pot. We got a good deal from the bottle vendor there. We got 300 just for the cost of 100. So we've got some money on hand right now.
That's a good business deal on our part, I guess. Now, we just found the map of Turtle Rock because we have some pretty much almost well sync here, except for the missing bombs. I didn't see anything worthwhile there, did you? The power glove. Power glove is worthwhile. Yep. I didn't see much else worthwhile.
So right now we're getting a lot of key items out of the bat there. We've got the bow on Rywek's side there, and also flippers and hook shots, which would, if we had access to the Dark World there, that would say the Swamp Palace to me, if we even had the keys for it as well. But nothing just yet.
Rywek tried to give the bee to the bottle vendor. The bottle vendor said no, thank you. So I guess that wasn't the good bee for him. Kyong is going to get to check the back of Blind's Hut, the actual back of Blind's Hut here. And we're going to get to see what item is back there as he gets his bombos and his bow. There is one more item there. He's going to have to lift a few pots out of his way to get it. So once he lifts those few pots, we get to find 20 bucks. So he basically got 50 bucks back here.
Every little bit helps there. I mean, if you end up being short by Zora by that amount, yeah, you'll be needing that. But at this present moment, yeah, you're not going to be missing much. Considering that, especially that we had that 300 bucks on the bottle vendor right now. Looks like Rywek is farming bombs outside of Link's house, whereas Kyong is going to the sick kid as well and going to be picking up the piece of heart from there.
Mm-hmm. And those pieces of heart are going to be a lot more important today than you might think they normally would be. The reason is because we are playing on expert difficulty. There are a lot of different changes that are in place. For example, the magic drain's a lot faster. There's no half magic available, except in the Spike Cave where you have to in order to get through it. And that can be abused as well to use potions in funny ways. But one of the main differences with the pieces of heart is there's only 9 total hearts in the heart pool. You're not going to get beyond 9 hearts today. You have to find all 20 pieces of heart and the one single heart container, which I learned may not even be Sank Heart, just a basic heart container from a boss, in order to get your full health. So with so little health, it's going to be important for the runners to get as much of that as they can today.
That is right, and in addition to that, we are limited to just Master Sword at most. We're limited to just Fighter Shield at most, and also Green Mail at most as well there. So a lot of the defensive options that runners are used to seeing in other difficulties are not going to be available to us.
Correct. They're not even going to see the mail upgrades. I think they're in the pool technically because the randomizer will place them there, but we're not going to actually get to see where they are because they're going to just look like big 20s to us, assuming they are even in the pool. We are in the back of Mini Moldorm Cave right now. There's our Titan's Mitt in the back of Mini Moldorm Cave. We have a key for Castle Tower. Oh, that's not something you want to see this early.
Not this early, no, but we are going to have to find those 2 keys here. Castle Tower key along with Swamp Palace key and also the infamous Ganon Tower big key are things that are out there in the world and can be almost literally anywhere.
We have an ice rod in the back of Escape, by the way, as well as the mushroom. Speaking of the Ganon Tower big key, and we'll get to this a little later too, the hint system that the game now includes, actually I believe in Key Sandy includes a guaranteed hint for the Ganon Tower big key somewhere, but some of those hint tiles may not be read because they're in out-of-the-way locations, like for example the Dark World Shopping Mall. So the question will be, will we actually get to see that hint tile today?
Yeah, it could be. We may run into it. We may not. We just don't know there. So we've just had Rywek finishing up the South Shore clear. They're getting a magic boomerang from the Ice Rod Cave there. Kyong is heading up towards Zora there. Only a few rupees short.
He's doing the mushroom check.
Ooh, yes, we did find the mushroom in the back of Escape, and we get a key. Where does it go? It goes to Desert Palace.
Ooh, we have everything for Desert Palace. We just need a fire source to be able to beat the boss.
I believe we also need the... I'm trying to remember. Do we need the big key for Desert Palace?
We need the book to get inside. Either that or the mirror to warp for Misery Mire, since we have the Titan's Mitt available. And then that would get us in the back door, and we can get the items that way as well. We do know the green pendant is in Swamp Palace. By the way, those maps that we're picking up, that is what tells us where the pendants and crystals are today, with the exception of the... there's our book, Desert Palace is on the table. So that... yeah, what I was saying is that Desert Palace now is fully in logic with the exception of the fire source. And I'm actually starting to wonder if the Castle Tower might be the home to our fire source because we have that first key.
This is true there, and the Castle Tower can be a bit finicky there because there are 2 keys to it, and each key locks one chest behind each one. So it's entirely possible for the fire source to be behind in the first chest in Castle Tower, but the rest of Castle Tower not be available to us at the present moment.
So Kyong is going to get the check of Agina out of the way here. So Agina has one chest in this very out-of-the-way location in the desert. He does not have the book yet. He's going to be a little upset when he finds the book later and realizes he has to come back here again. So in a sense, this could be a bit of a time loss for Kyong. Rywek is checking Eastern Palace while he's in the area. Good routing on his part. Dark Palace, small key.
Yeah, that's another one of 6 Palace of Darkness small keys. So you need at least 4 at the very least to reach the boss area, and 5 or 6 is preferable to be if you want to get all the chests.
And some runners may even make the option of checking what some of the locations have, and then if there are items that are not necessary, they may just do a soft reset and cross those off the shopping list. There is nothing wrong with doing a soft reset and not saving. They can check a few items while they're in the area and then leave and do something else and come back later, or even just go straight back if they wish to.
All right, so Rywek found the book inside of, I believe it was Sasha's closet there.
Correct.
So it's about almost as far away from Desert Palace as you could get. So he will be Kyong will end up doing what Rywek is and just going to Eastern Palace as soon as they find it. There's not really many other dungeons left open to us at this present moment.
So a couple big key notes. We just found the Turtle Rock big key, and we just learned that the Misery Mire big key is in Palace of Darkness. So there's some more information there on the big keys today.
Yeah, that is interesting indeed. The Turtle Rock big key we'll need at some point, of course. This being all dungeons, and that's one of the dungeons that requires a big key. But we do know that we have to do Palace of Darkness before Misery Mire. Most often you end up doing that anyway, but any knowledge is good knowledge.
And interesting thing related to all dungeons too. I mentioned earlier you need the maps to know where the pendants and crystals are, but the runners may not even care for most of the while where pendants and crystals are until they're actually in a go mode situation, at which point they can then plan for doing things in whatever way they like. But there could be a situation where 1 or 2 pendant dungeons may not be able to be completed until you go through Ganon's Tower. It could just be the big key is in Ganon's Tower. So they may not even do a map check at any point. They may just do a map check towards when they're done 4, 5, 6 crystals at that point, just to see, okay, is this the one I'm missing? Is this the one that could be in Ganon's Tower? Okay, good to know. I'll do that one later.
Meanwhile, Rywek finds the fire rod inside of Eastern Palace there. Not much you can really use that on at the present moment, but it's something that you really will need for later.
In the waterfall, we have an ice palace and a Ganon's Tower key, neither of which are extremely important. Ooh, red goo from the fairy. Now the red goo, I say ooh, red goo from the fairy. Normally that would be a very good thing because it's a health refill. Not in expert mode. That basically gives you a heart. So if you want to spend a lot of time refilling your health, that's a way to do it.
Pretty much, yeah. Potions only refill a maximum of 25% of your magic and 1 heart. It still can be used for the potion glitch in Palace of Darkness if you are so inclined to do so, but that's about all that it is good for.
And of course, Spike Cave, you can use potions normally because that room is not changed unlike the others, because you have to have the full magic to get through. There's our sword. Kyong stares at the fish for a moment and then grabs the sword and continues to the south to check the ledge item. I didn't see what it was, but it looks like it's something he wants. We'll find out in a moment what it is. Rywek is doing the climb up Death Mountain, it looks like. Oh, it's a cape on the ledge, so that's he's picking that up now just in case Bumper Cave is important later.
Better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it.
I agree.
So yeah, our first sword of the seed is from Kazora there. So the Lady of the Lake is actually a big fish today, and throws us a sword.
A $500 sword on top of that. But hey, weaponry has to be expensive, right?
Pretty much. And Rywek is wishing that he had one as he escorts the old man over to his cave there, gets past the dead rocks at long last.
So Kyong is going over the hobo location. I don't believe Rywek checked this yet, but either way, we're going to see what it is right now.
Yep.
The hobo has today just some blueberries.
But are they good blueberries? That's the question.
Nah, they blow up. They're good enough. I mean, a dud would be bad. So we're going...
Hylian blueberries. So good, you'll have a blast.
Yep. We're going to have another hint tell from Rywek right now as he's going to see what item is inside Spectacle Rock. Look at that. It's got to be Cane.
A cane of Samaria this early as well. This seed is being generous today. It looks like the Great Fairy just has some cash and not else there. Does that refer to Pyramid Fairy, or I believe that's the only one that it can refer to, if I'm not mistaken?
It's either Pyramid Fairy or Waterfall Fairy, but we already saw both items with Waterfall Fairy, and I believe those are the only two fairies. So that means that one of the items from the Big Bomb is cash. We don't know yet what the other item is.
All right, well, we've got some cash from Sasha's closet and the book Kyong was looking for earlier. Meanwhile, Rywek is sequence breaking his way up to Death Mountain there. Logically, there can't be anything up here since the game expects you to have a lamp at this point. But even so, the treasure trove of chests is just too tempting to pass up.
The lamp or the flute. The flute would also be logical for Death Mountain access if you were to get that. But yes, without those, anything up from here is a sequence break. And while they're nice items to find, such as that King of Samaria that Rywek found, it is not actually in logic yet. There's a Ganon's Tower small key. So that's our third, I believe, Ganon Tower small key that we found today. And the first one that seems that Rywek has found. And he's heading up.
So far, so good.
He's heading up to the upper floor of Paradox Cave right now. The cave that is a paradox because you go up to go down, and you go down to go up. We have 20 rupees. We have 5 rupees, so 25 rupees. And another 20 from the mini Moldorm. There's 50 more. There is a small key, the first non-money item up here. That's a Turtle Rock small key and blue goo, which, as you mentioned, only fills a heart and a small portion of your magic.
The Turtle Rock big key is interesting there because there's only 4 of those, and you need at least 3 of them to be able to get through to the end of Turtle Rock. If you do end up getting only 3, you can have to skip the lava chest to face Trinex and vice versa. All 4 keys allow you to full clear the dungeon.
So Rywek is going to head back upstairs in this time, I believe. Okay, just heading up to the top of Death Mountain, it looks like.
Yeah, we should be able to at least see what's on top of there, what's on the floating island. Just the map. Not the most important thing in the world, but it's knowledge nonetheless.
Good to know it's there, so we don't have to worry about it later. Here we are, by the way, in Spiral Cave. Why is it we call it Spiral Cave? Well, it's a big spiral. That's why we call it Spiral Cave. Kyong is on his way to get the fire rod that you mentioned in Palace or in Eastern Palace as well. So he is going to get that. I should note as well, I believe the fire rod was found beyond the dark room. So the fire rod is also a sequence break because we don't have the lamp to go through this dark room yet.
Ooh, that is a good point. Yes, there. And Rywek just finds some bombs inside of Spiral Caves there. There are no spies in Spiral Cave. Just some bombs.
Yeah, spies would make it a lot more fun, though, wouldn't it?
What would Hylian spies or Ganon spies even look like, anyway?
They would have masks. So, in other words, they might look like they're from Majora's Mask. I don't know.
Yeah, close enough, I guess.
So, noting 2 important items that we did find, the King of Samaria and the Fire Rod are both sequence broken, and they are both sequence broken by the lamp. So, we are facing one of those seeds where when we find that lamp, it's going to logically tie together everything that we found so far and put everything that we've just found into logic here. So, it's going to be interesting to see where that comes into play later.
All right, looks like Kyong is going for the escape sequence. We already checked the back of it, so we'll be checking the front of it now here. I believe Rywek had already been to the uncle already, so we'll be seeing the $5 the uncle's life savings in his pockets.
The Skull Woods and Misery Mire maps, meanwhile, were just found in Soup Brennan Cave, so not a lot of use in there. Kyong getting, as you mentioned, his items from the Uncle area. And probably going to do the front of escape now since he has a sword. That makes perfect sense to me anyway. We are getting a map check. We do see crystals at Misery Mire, Skull Woods, and Turtle Rock, so we do know that there are crystals in those locations.
Always good to see you there. And we also see that Ether Medallion is required for Turtle Rock. So that is something that is good to know. We haven't seen any medallions aside from Bombos yet. So if we want to get in, when we need to get into Turtle Rock, we're going to need that Ether Medallion. No way around it.
Yep, those medallions, again, the Bombos Medallion was the first medallion we found. The next one on the line is Ether, and the next one after that is Quake. Those are the 3 medallions. 2 of those will open, or possibly even one of those will open those 2 dungeons, Misery Mire and Turtle Rock. So they are part of our logic for progressing. Rywek is trying to do a Houlihan room using a bomb into the open grave. He succeeds. He's getting his $225, and he's going to feel more comfortable heading up to the Zora area right about after this.
Yep, that is a good plan there. Kyong finds the Ice Palace big key inside the front of Escape there. Not 100% necessary unless there's something in that Ice Palace big chest there, because runners of this caliber know how to do the Ice Palace bomb jump to skip the big key door from that section.
So Escape is proving to not be that viable right now. We have 10 rupees, or 10 arrows, rather, in that chest that we just checked. I think that was the compass chest, or the map chest normally.
Looks like it, yeah. So we're going to be seeing what's in Zelda's chest here. We're still missing the lamp if we want to put Death Mountain into logic there, but we are also missing the hammer to give us hammer and Moon Pearl to give us Dark World access. Now that's our main objective for right now. We find the magic powder, but that's not the magic pearl.
Yeah, the fact you mentioned that we don't have the Moon Pearl yet, and that's very interesting that we still have yet to find the Moon Pearl. We could still even find the lamp before the Moon Pearl. Now, we did get a Castle Tower small key. I am willing to bet that we're going to have to make an early dip into Castle Tower to pick up something important.
Well, Kyong is already in the castle, so one wonders if they will go to the upper floors after they check out the sewers.
He could go for a sequence break and just go check that first chest. Now, the problem is, and he has the cape, he can get inside. So there's no problem with him getting inside of Castle Tower. He won't be able to finish it, but we're not able to do anything in the Dark World yet anyway, and we don't even have a second key, so we can't finish it anyway. So,
we can't get in the front door yet. We have no Master Sword.
And he's gonna go in and get that. No, we have the cape. He can get in the front door with the cape.
Oh, that's right. That's what you just said. My bad.
Yes. So he could go get that first item up there right after he's done here, and who knows, the other Castle Tower key could be back here in the dark. Granted, it wouldn't be in logic yet because we don't have the lamp. And we don't know what it was, so hopefully we can find that out later if it was anything important.
Yep, Kyong is in the dark as much as we are for the time being there. Rywek picks up his sword from the big fish.
Kyong took a little while taking hits from the rats that were back there, or bats. I think it's actually keys around that chest, so was trying to get them to hit him for a while. As I forecast, he is heading up to Castle Tower, and he is planning to check that first time, but right now he's trying to figure out what he picked up, and he might not be sure.
Doesn't appear to be anything too major. If it was a key, the text box would have appeared. So probably just some consumable, most likely.
I still remember a day when keys inside their own dungeons didn't even have a text box. That was added because of some confusion with some keys in later version.
Yep, indeed there. And making good use of that bow to get through this ball and chain guard.
Okay, here's our big item in Castle Tower. What is up here? Nothing. Just some blueberries. Now, he is going to use the key. We are going to be able to go to the second chest, but again, we do not have the lamp. This is another sequence broken item. But the Dark Maze is not too hard for many runners. It's what's beyond there that's really gets tough in the dark. So he did find the torch with the fire rod, so that's going to help him get through the maze quickly. Still not in logic, but we get to see $20 in there.
So nothing in there. We're starting to run out of places to check. We've already cleaned out most of the common areas there. So Desert Palace is the first thing to occur to me.
It looks like Kyong might have picked up his Master Sword back there in the dark because it looked, and we just saw the item on Rywek's side. Did we see that?
Yes, that was the Master Sword indeed.
Yeah. Right. It looks like our tracker is on the ball. He did notice the Master Sword in the inventory. We didn't catch that. So good job to our tracker, Vince Easter, who was doing the tracking for us today. Good catch.
Huzzah, indeed, good sir. And looks like Rywek is going to be doing the same castle, tower, and escape sequence as well. Meanwhile, Kyong is making a beeline for Desert Palace, one of the few places left to access right now. We have that key, so we can at least check out all the chests in there, but I don't believe we can get into the boss without the big key, if I'm not mistaken.
For which one? Desert Palace? Yes, you do need the big key after the cutscene. And he does not have that big key yet. Actually, no, I thought the runners did pick up the big key for Desert Palace. I remember seeing that.
We saw a small key, but not a big key, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, maybe I'm thinking the Tower Hair one. I thought I saw the big key, too. Well, if he does not have the big key, no, he would not be able to get back to the boss without it. That would be correct. Now, I want to do a quick note as well, a programming-related note here. We do have this race being broadcast also in French today over on Speed Gaming Francais, a dual cast here, if you will. So those of you who are... prefer French-speaking language, you can go over to that channel and you'll be able to listen with No Face 099 and Little Miss Arcade, who are doing the commentary over there. I want to thank them for their help today in putting on the French broadcast of this race today too.
Indeed there. And meanwhile, we just saw Kyong found the Moon Pearl inside of the right side of Desert Palace. So that's a good find to have there. We just need the hammer for Dark World access there. I was getting ready to say that it was in that chest, but no, just 10 arrows in that chest down there. So we are still hammerless. It is not hammer time yet.
Well, they can still get to the Dark World, I believe, through the Kakariko Village area. If they walk around, they can use the Titan's Mitt. So there is Dark World access that I believe is available, but they don't have full access to Dark World yet. It is very limited Dark World access, and if they want to reach certain locations, they're going to have to go for a long, long walk to get to.
That's pretty much it, yeah. Aside from a few areas, I mean, you can use you're pretty much limited to Kakariko right now there. The Ice Palace warp is not a very convenient warp to go to, and we don't even have the mirror to get back anywhere. Well, that's neither here nor there. Regardless, you have to go into the Dark World through Kakariko if that's where you're wanting to go.
Well, in theory, they could get into Ice Palace, so it's not it. This could be one of those gross seeds where you're expected to go into Ice Palace to find progression.
That's just nasty. We have a key in Lumberjack Cave, a small key. It's Schrodinger's key. We don't know if it's useful or not.
So the only way we can refer to that is that Aghanim is required? We won't know until later.
This is all dungeons. Preferably, you'd like to save Aga 1 for last there because it gives you the health refill right before you finish off the boss, or finish off Ganon. But in this case, we may have to do it sooner than expected.
The only thing we know for sure is that is not the Castle Tower big key, or small key. There's no way that can be the Castle Tower small key because there's only 2 and you need it to be able to reach that key. So we do know that. And actually someone in the chat saying the exact same thing, just as I said that too. So that's the one thing we do know. But other than that, we're not going to know which key that is until later. We can deduce which keys have been picked up by the runners and which key that is and whether it's actually needed or not.
Yep, that is correct there. And Kyong is sequence breaking up to Death Mountain at the present moment. Not going to be finding the progression that they're looking for right now, but we'll get a few helpful items such as that key that we found earlier.
And I'm starting to wonder where that lamp is. Now that we have the Moon Pearl, I'd be willing to bet the lamp could possibly be in Skull Woods or in Thieves Town because those are now opened up to us. Those areas are not dark areas, and it is possible for those that we may have been logically expected to go to the Dark World in order to come back to the Light World to get these items later.
Pretty much. I mean, that's what it's starting to look like, judging just by the items we have and the locations we've have left to us there. So, Dark World through Kakariko, and then we have access to most of the Dark World overworld from there, I believe.
Kyong, meanwhile, just picked up his cane Samari. He's like, I like this. I'm going to keep looking around up here. And getting assaulted by the cabbages and the dead rocks. Down to 2 hearts already, despite a health refill. That expert difficulty health can be a pain in the real nuisance sometimes.
That's, pretty much. I mean, with a maximum of 9 hearts, that's only 6 extra hearts that you pick up from the start of the game. So we're almost at half capacity for what we should be finding here for the seed. I've seen seeds ending with like 6 hearts at the Ganon fight. It's tough, but it's doable. But you have to be as it says on the tin, an expert to do it.
Yeah, you have to consider yourself an expert to even be willing to take on a seed like this.
So the real question is, who do you think will be the first person to venture into the Dark World there? Rywek is heading over to Desert Palace where he's going to find his Moon Pearl. But Kyong is finishing cleaning up Death Mountain at the moment.
I have a feeling once Rywek finds that Moon Pearl, he's going to be happy to go to the Dark World. I'm trying to remember if there's anything that Kyong has not checked that Rywek has already checked, besides Super Money Cave, which Kyong might be going to right now. He did the nice bomb jump there to get across. So other than Super Bunny Cave and checking the Turtle Rock Medallion and Spiral Cave, I'm not sure what else there is for Kyong to do. By the time he does that, Rywek may be done with Desert Palace. They might both get the Dark World around the same time if they have the same thought. That's
looking like the only play there. Has Rywek checked out the... no, I'm sorry, I'm mixing up Dark Runners. But both players checked out the Castle Tower there. We saw Kyong do that, but I'm not sure for Rywek.
I don't think Rywek did yet. I don't think he's even done all the escapes, so he may even do that first, too. There's his Moon Pearl. And Kyong getting his blueberries from the Spiral Cave.
All right, so we have confirmation that Rywek did do all of Escape and Castle Tower as well. Oh, and Kyong is taking the opportunity to use the Dark Death Mountain portal into the Dark World instead of going through Kakariko. This will open up a few things here in the Dark Death Mountain, most notably Hookshot Cave.
Yep, that's a very good place to check, actually. That could even be where our progression is. So a very good play by Kyong here to get this out of the way. Normally, players would try to route it in with Turtle Rock. Speaking of which, except for the fact that it's Ether, he could otherwise almost do Turtle Rock right now if he could actually get inside. So too bad he can't do that. It'd be good routing in that case. But maybe Ether is inside Hookshot Cave. Right under the mat, if you will.
Well, we got the hook shot, so we can check all 4 chests in there. But yeah, as soon as we get into the Dark World, that might be the solution, or it could be somewhere else inside of Dark Death Mountain. If it's not here, we can even check Bumper Cave on the way out.
Yep. Well, there's a big key for Eastern Palace. So we know the Eastern Palace progression was back here. What else is back here? Just some money so far. A dead jellyfish, and more arrow.
Yep, no mirror to check the floating island, which we know is just a map anyway, so no big loss there. Heading over to Turtle Rock to check out the medallion that we already know is the Ether Medallion. And we are going back, so we got some stuff inside of Hookshot Cave, but it's not what we're looking for. So onward, I'm assuming to... it's almost like it's inverted mode, except with the early... Oh, excuse me. Sorry, an early Skullwood / Thieves Town.
Well, with the exception of the fact that we don't have the lamp yet, it is possible to clear Eastern Palace for runners comfortable with dark rooms at this time. So Eastern Palace can be cleared. However, as you know, because the lamp would is still not available, it's not doing too many things out of sequence like that, like what they've already done Death Mountain, they've already sequence broken Castle Tower and the back room of Escape. Doing too many things out of sequence can really cause some confusion with the logic and cause runners to look for things in places they cannot possibly be. So they will try not to do too many things out of sequence in order to keep everything lined up and be able to try to tie the sequence back together so they can then come back and do things properly towards the end of the seed.
Now, this is also an instance of the sequence breaking that we have done proving useful there, because we got that fire rod from a post-Darkroom area inside of Eastern Palace, and so now we can actually finish off Skullwood if we so desire.
Now, of course, as you know, this is a case where the back of Skullwoods is not currently in logic, so yes, they can complete Skullwoods and get their first pendant or crystal. I think in this case it is a crystal we noted earlier. So, but again, this crystal is not yet in logic.
No, it is not in logic there, but it is very convenient once we'll be able to to finish the dungeon.
It saves a lot of time because you're coming here to check the chest anyway. You might as well take advantage of the fact that you can finish it. And if it's nothing useful back there anyway, then nothing lost. There's no really logical mess up from that.
Yep, if you can save a double dip, definitely go and do so.
So he's right back there, not even checking the chest in the front area yet.
Yeah, probably going to be doing that on the way out, if I had to guess.
Right, if necessary. And the reason for that is because these chests have to be, or at least the Mothula has to be killed either way. It's in all dungeons, as you know, and plus it's a crystal, so it would have to be done anyway. So, since you have to take out Mothula anyway, go take out Mothula, and then if you find both items while you're doing Mothula and the other chests you checked on the way here, then you know you don't have to do the front area at all because it's just keys and maps and compasses.
Unfortunately, I lost count of how many items we found in the dungeon so far. But meanwhile,
I just realized we're talking about dungeon count. I forgot that it's key sanity. The items are all shuffled anyway, so that doesn't have anything to do with it.
Yep, that's true. That's true there. But meanwhile, we've got a Kyong fighting the big moth himself right there on 4 hearts green mail. It is tricky, but it is definitely doable.
Yeah, it is very, very hard. Like we commented earlier, ooh, 3 hearts damage right there. It takes a single heart, which won't do much if it takes another beam, but he does get it down. Very, very hard fight, but he did pull it off, and he is getting a small key to Hyrule Castle.
Ooh, that is interesting.
No, it isn't. It's actually a useless key. They've already got all the items.
Yep, that's right there. We will need it eventually, though, so we have all the items to do Aggro 1 when we so desire, but we got all the useful stuff.
No, we don't. Castle Tower is Aggro 1.
Then what key was that there? I must have misheard it.
That's a key that would be the back of escape access in the main Hyrule Castle, not Castle Tower.
Oh, Hyrule okay, you're correct there. We've already cleared out everything from that area. You're correct.
And Kyong finds a useless compass in the back of Skullwoods and gets out of there. Now, an interesting note about the logic progression. You can actually get hints of where to go in the logic by the maps and compasses you pick up, because I believe if you find both the map and the compass, that means the game assumes you are now able to fully do the dungeon. So if you find the map and the compass for a dungeon, then that might be a dungeon you need to check out.
That's a bit of logic that I was not familiar with myself. I'm glad that you brought it up.
I learned that about a couple weeks ago or so myself. I didn't realize that was how it was set up.
Do you know any why it's set up that way? Just out of curiosity.
Probably for casual players. Because the compass gives you a count of the items you picked up, and the map tells you whether you need to waste your time going there for the map for compass or crystal anyway. I believe it's just for casual players being able to route things more efficiently for their cases. Of course, regular runners like Rywek and Kyong and a lot of the other people in this tournament, they don't rely on the maps and compasses. But if you're looking for something in logical progression, this could be a good way to tie the logic together if you recognize you picked up a map and a compass for an area.
Interesting indeed.
Now, this chest that Kyong is about to get is a key. We know it's a key, and he's not even going to waste his time because he realizes that's the room he's in.
Yep, that's right there. And Kyong skipped the key in the previous room as well.
And he forgot that
chest,
he dropped in here, so he has to go through anyway. Yeah, he forgot that he has to go through here anyway, so here he's gonna, this time he's going to stop and pick up the key.
Death cannot save you from this dungeon, only... I don't know where I was going with this, but oh well.
Yes, this is the case where he forgot, apparently, that he fell into the room, and the game was going to put him back where he fell in, not at the entrance, like you normally would find. For him, that was his entrance to the dungeon, where he fell. So he uses the exit here to reset his positioning, takes the death, which I'm going to assume was intentional. Looked like an intentional one to me. He's going to probably go back in, and, yep. And leave. Just get some health back.
The code girl genius there. Don't worry, we're going to kill you, and then you'll be all better.
Rywek starting his flying insect fight. And he has the Master Sword held in front of him as a means of protection and to get a spin slash in whenever possible. I don't think this Master Sword really does any protection. Don't know why I suggested that. He could have used the sword beams, but now he has to do the spin slashes no matter what. But he does get enough hits in. He is finished the fight, and he's going to get his first crystal today. Again, it is sequence broken, but it is our first crystal. Now, I didn't see if what was on Bumper Cave, but it looks important because Kyong is going after it. It looks like it is the mirror.
That'll make a whole lot of things available to us there, and just a lot of convenience as well as wrapped in one shiny package.
Yep, that's going to be a very good, very nice item to pick up because that's going to open a few items on the... Actually, let me put it this way. That opens up the entire Lumberjack chain. Get Lumberjack because the frog, the only thing he can't do is hammer pegs. But you can take Lumberjack home, go back at the purple chest, check Magic Bat while you're in the area because you have the spice. Though that will lose your portal back to the Dark World, so you'd have to go back to the Dark World if you do that. But it also opens a couple mirror checks along the way. Stumpy, I don't think we've checked yet. Purple chest obviously goes to the desert. So a lot of items can be picked up in that chain, just a couple that we can't get yet.
Just $20 from that check there on the graveyard ledge. Looks like Rywek is right behind Kyong, following the same logical path there. Sees that mirror on top of Bumper Cave and will be going there right now. Meanwhile, Kyong is going to check out King's... Well, no, he can't check out King's Tomb. No boots.
I thought he was going there for a moment, but thankfully he wasn't. He's going to Catfish. Or either that or he's... Oh, maybe he wants some medicine first. He has lots of money, might as well invest.
There are certain instances where having magic medicine does help out there, such as the Trinex fight. So even that little 25% refill always helps.
Yeah, that's at least a couple more swings.
So yeah, while we're doing this North Heart and Hyrule port here, that's a good routing for Kyong, so that we don't orphan this check up here. Otherwise, it would be a long trek back from wherever he happened to be.
Yeah, he was just getting the magic because he was in the area. He wanted to do the Catfish check anyway. So he was just getting some magic while he was in the area, or some goo, I should say, just in case he needed it. So Catfish usually has something not very important, like this map here. The map for Palace of Darkness today.
Alright, so at this point here, we've got Thieves Town open to us. We still can't get to the big chest in it yet. No hammer and no key for that, but we can get to the rest of it. We could do Ice Palace if we so desire here. Palace of Darkness, we can't get that far in. We haven't found the one Swamp Palace key, so we can only check the one chest in there.
Now, for all we know, that could be the progression too, or it could even be the Swamp Palace key.
it's one of those one-offs that you really don't feel like checking there, but the time that you don't it is progression, you just end up kicking yourself because it's been there the entire time.
But at the same time, how many runners do you know are going to go check that? It's like the case where I've seen runner go to Swamp Palace without the hammer and find the hammer in the first chest that could possibly have the hammer. And hello, that opens up the seed right there. So it's just cases like that you don't want to check it, but you assume that no one else is going to check it either. So if you check it, you're making a gamble, and if you make that gamble and it pays off, you've got a huge advantage that someone else doesn't have yet.
That's right there. But in the meantime, we can check the easier checks in here. So we did the chess game there. We are going next door to Thieves Town, and then just the other Village of Outcast checks that we can do right afterwards.
Coincidentally, the Thieves Town small key is in the very first chest of Thieves Town. Is this even randomized? Anyway, the big key is not available yet, so unless it shows up here or in the next two chests, that's the Desert Palace big key. I almost got excited for a moment. Unless it shows up in the next two chests, you will have to leave after checking these chests.
Pretty much there, but 4 easy chests to get is nothing to sneeze at. So we found a big key that we are definitely going to need for the rest of Desert Palace, and 2 more chests.
I think he's going to go to Desert Palace after this. That's just my guess. There's a small key to Turtle Rock. That's 2 small keys for Turtle Rock for him, according to our tracker.
And that's the end of the loot here in Thieves Town, so back out to the Village of Outcasts.
And you never know, the hammer could be anywhere in here as well. That would make some of the checks a lot easier, because the hammer pegs is right nearby, and we have the mirror available to us, so we can check that while we're here if we happen to be so lucky.
Meanwhile, Rywek checked out Pyramid there, ended up not getting what was on there. I only got a brief glimpse of it, but it looked like nothing important.
It looks like Rywek is making one huge play here. He's heading down to the Ice Palace area, coming from there's the flute for Kyong in Village of Outcasts. Rywek is checking the Helia Island, floating down from the Palace of Darkness area in the Dark World. So he's going to find this key, which is useless. It's a Skullwoods key. And Kyong is going to release the bird.
All right, that flute is very useful there. It will unlock a Misery Mire, or access to Misery Mire. Once we get to doing there, we don't even know what the medallion for Misery Mire at this point there, so we could go do it right now if we felt like it or not.
Rywek is making a further huge play, checking Ice Palace. This is a gamble, because Ice Palace is one of those places that runners don't like to go into, and we know that this dungeon can be completed without the big key. They do have one small key available to them right now that may be enough, may not be, depending on how things turn out here, but he may not be able to check all the chests in here. We'll find out what happens as he goes here. He could even find another Ice Palace key in here to make this a lot easier.
Yeah, pretty much we've got almost everything that we need here. We find the bug net buried inside the digging game, interestingly enough.
And he doesn't even pick it up. How's he going to beat Aghanim without that?
Come on now, you need to show your superiority by netting the fool.
Exactly. I have to use the net to fling the orbs. That's how men take out a wizard. Anyway, we're getting Jeremiah the Bullfrog from his prison, his rocket prison, and he is on his way home with Kyong. No Froggy World Tour today, no hammer pegs yet. Rywek is doing the Stalfo's Knights double bombing. I didn't catch what the hint tile up there said. The first hint tile was a joke hint, so nothing useful. Kyong is going to find out what item is back here. I believe you actually have to pay $10 for this item. So we're going to get to see what he finds. There goes the $10. There's some goo.
It could be useful there. It looks like that hit in Ice Palace was that there's a unique item in Palace of Darkness.
Well, there's 14 items in there. The odds of that is very high anyway, so not really much of a useful hint. So we're on Magic Bat right now, and this is a character who likes to curse the hero for waking him up. And he is cursed by losing some of his health. You can see where I'm going with that.
Pretty much, yeah. I'm sorry, I was thinking about this whole Smith's chain thing there, and the question, and I was like, since we was cursed to be a bullfrog there, and now I'm imagining a dwarf with the voice of Kermit the Frog. And debating on whether that actually sound like Kermit the Frog there, or some like dwarvish combination of that. Oh my laddie, thank you for rescuing me from that dark world. Yay!
I'll give it a 4.
Yeah, that's better than usual.
Kyong is taking the purple chest with him at this time through the Village of Outcasts, showing it off to all the people as he's going by, and including those ghosts here and the lovely purple cuckoo that is around the village. Rywek continuing through Ice Palace, trying to get through this. Up there he goes. And Kyong is heading over to Stumpy. So as I thought, actually I was going to do K45 first, then he's going to head over to Stumpy, I think. That's 2 more items along the way here. Rywek mirrors back to the start of Ice Palace. He is not going to be completing Ice Palace at this time. There is a big key. That could be the Thieves Town big key.
Always finding the keys after we leave the dungeons. It's just how things go.
So it's worth knowing that Rywek did make a bit of a gamble going to Ice Palace. Unfortunately, this is a gamble that did not pay off. I love the play, especially against someone like Kyong. There's Ether from Stumpy. Turtle Rock is available. So I love the play from Rywek, but unfortunately it was garbage all the way down. If there had been something useful there, like, Ether, it would have been a great play, and it would have given him a huge edge against someone who, in this tournament, is literally 17-2 right now. So against someone like that, you have to make gambles, or 17-1, sorry. So against someone like that, you have to make gambles. He made a gamble, it didn't pay off, and that, unfortunately, is going to end up costing him.
Pretty much, yeah, there. And inside the purple chest, we've just got $5 there. Thief looks at you like, why are you wasting my time, boy?
So I know that Stumpy had Ether and that Turtle Rock is now available. I should note that we can't complete Turtle Rock, but we can go inside and we can actually do some of the things in the dungeon. We just can't do the entire dungeon at this time, and it would be risky going with 2 keys. You want to have at least 3, so you at least have the option of checking the lava chest. If you don't like it, you can come back later and complete the dungeon without the 4th key. Oh, I'm being told we
tablet can't. I'm sorry, but yeah, Bombo Tablet just doesn't have anything on it, so onward we go.
I'm being told we can't start Turtle Rock. I'm trying to figure out why that is.
We don't have any hammers to...
Oh, yes, the hammer. Okay,
to open up the map.
The hammer is still needed. That is correct. I'm overlooking the hammer. The hammer does so much that it's easy to overlook when you see everything else for a dungeon that so many items are needed. We are going to get this... Sorry, I didn't want to cut you off. We're going to get the Swamp Gamble from Kyong right now. He's going to see what that first chest is.
Yeah, the Swamp Palace requires the hammer there. Palace of Darkness requires the hammer. Ice Palace requires the hammer. And Turtle Rock requires the hammer. So a lot is locked behind that one area.
And that hammer could be right here in Swamp Palace. We're going to get a hint, first of all. Some cash is in Asaj's closet. Thanks, game. So, will this be something useful like the hammer, or will it be garbage? Well, health isn't really garbage, given how little of it there is, but still, not what we wanted.
Some time spent, but that's about it, so... But time isn't valuable, but we are right here next to Hype Cave. I don't believe we've even looked at this yet.
I don't think so. This is our first look at Hype Cave. At 54 minutes in, our first look at Hype Cave. So here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Get your hype in chat for Hype Cave, or as some like to call it, the Cave of Little Significance. Let's see what it is today. We have 10 arrows. So far, we're leaning towards the second option. We have $20. We have a big key for Ganon's Tower. And
there
silver
we go,
arrows. So Ganon's Tower, big key, and silver arrows. Phantom Fox, rate this Hype Cave.
I rated Dead Ganon out of 10.
I approve of that. And Chad is agreeing with 10 out of 10 hype on that cave. Desert Palace and Eastern Palace are the 5-6 crystals. We now know this. And let me see. We don't have the lamp, so logically, Pyramid Fairy would not be in play yet because we don't have the lamp. But other than that, we have everything to complete Desert Palace and Eastern Palace, so Pyramid Fairy could come into play later.
We do have the Fire Rod, but so we can get to the back of Desert Palace now. We still haven't looked to see what is on Land Molus, if anything.
Right, they can finish that now. But you know what just came to my mind that I think would be really, really interesting to see?
What came to your mind?
If we have to complete Eastern Palace and Desert Palace, once we find the lamp, throwing in the logic. So the lamp, if the lamp shows up somewhere, and we end up having to complete Aghanim's Tower early to get access to Pyramid Fairy and find the hammer.
Ooh, that would be nasty, but it could happen.
That would be interesting, and it could happen, but it's literally one of those 1 in 20,000 seed possibilities. The odds of it are very, very low, but that is a possibility for where that hammer could be, and could this be the seed where that happens? Or could it be up here on Moldorm?
Well, that is true there. We have the mirror, so now we can do more. Get to Hera the normal way. So, I didn't check to see what all the items that we have, or all the chests here were as of yet. Doesn't look like to be anything of significance just yet.
I haven't seen anything in the chest that I saw. So, Rywek does finish off Moldorm. Will we have a hammer, or will we have I don't know, some boots, or $20? Well, at least it's a crystal. That's the main thing.
Crystals are shiny, and they let you break seals, so there we go.
Yep.
Alright, looks like Kyong is heading towards Palace of Darkness. We do know that there is a unique item in here, but we only have how many keys? We only have 2 keys at the present moment right now, so we can't explore all that far into it. But that one unique item could be in there early, you never know.
He could also do a hard reset if he doesn't find the unique item right away, and then throw out those, and then get those keys back for later. This is something I suggested he could do earlier. And given how we have quite a logical loose end to tie up, he's in Eastern Palace. He's not in Palace of Darkness, so he is going to actually sequence break the boss of Eastern Palace at this point. But Palace of Darkness would be an option, and he could soft reset there if he finds nothing he likes there. But he would have to make sure he saves inside Eastern Palace in Palace of Darkness before he does that.
It could end up being worth it, and you're right here anyway. So let's knock out the Eastern Palace while we're at it.
So what will we find? The boss. The Armos Knights, which are going to be sequence broken. We know it's not the lamp. And since the lamp has not been found yet, the odds of being progression, I would say, are probably very low. But if there is something back here, it'll be very interesting to see where that lamp is later. It will be interesting anyway, because we already have a couple lamps we found without it.
Can't be anything that the lamp would need to lead to either.
Correct. That would mean the Fire Rod is not under the Mothula area. It would not be under the western side of Misery Mire, because you need either the lamp or the Fire Rod. The Fire Rod is at least locked by the lamp, so we would need the lamp in that case to get it, in order to get it from the right side anyway. We know it would not involve the King of Samaria, so it's not inside Turtle Rock at all, the lamp. So that's going to be interesting, logical loose end to tie up later. I don't think he meant to kill that particular Armos Knight, so it turned red. It cost another couple arrows. You may note that even though Kyong has the silver arrows, the arrows were still regular arrows, Reason for that is because this is another thing that happens actually starting in hard mode and also carried in expert mode. The silver arrows only work with Ganon. They won't work anywhere else in the seed at all.
Yep, that is correct there. So we can't really trivialize the Vitreous fight or the Armor's Knights fight with them anymore, which is, well, a little bit less showy, but hey, what you gonna do?
We found the Palace of Darkness third small key, by the way, back there. So even though that is a sequence broken key, it does give us enough to at least check some items in Palace of Darkness. And if we don't find anything useful, we can soft reset and get those keys back. There's a Turtle Rock small key. He may keep that. So we'll see what happens here.
Rywek finds the flute. Is a bit annoyed to find that in its location, so he's going to go and turn that in right now. And then let's see here. And you just finished checking up the chest inside of Thieves Town, so not much more he can do until he finds that Thieves Town big key elsewhere, which we know is out there and accessible right now.
So I just saw the most useful hint I've ever seen. I was hoping for some commentary callback there, but there are some arrows in Ganon's tower. That is very good to know. Thanks, gang.
Is it more useful than the one time there that we that the hint tile in Tower of Hera told you what was in the chest that was right in front of?
Or compared to the one time we had the same hint tile in both hint tiles in Tower of Hera. I was actually calling that reason.
Yeah, hint tiles don't care for when you find them. They're just shuffled around there. They don't know what you've been doing there. As like, hey, you need some arrows? You're gonna find them again, Sarah. You short on arrows? We got you covered. Don't worry.
And there's $20 in the basement. Kyong still has 2 keys available.
The question then becomes, what do you spend them on there? Looks like I'm guessing that we're going for the Dark Maze, judging by the route that he's going.
Reading the hint from the Hintile conversation we were just having, I'm reading in chat, someone made the comment that he's a big fan of the hint. Some bombs require a bomb.
Man, there's this joke involving the redundancy department of redundancy, but I can't really think of how it goes right now.
We won't worry about that. As we find the boots in the basement of Eastern Palace around the boss door. So that is something that Kyong is going to want to hang on to for sure. But again, they are sequence broken. Now the boots, they don't really have a lot in terms of what they do logically. It does open the Bonk Rocks, for example. It does open King's Tomb, but we know those aren't the lamp or anything logically required at this point until we find the lamp, at which point they would then be opened up and available in logic. Now,
what areas are still open for us the lamp to even be in at this point?
I'm actually thinking it might be a case where we just have to find it, and that's gonna be where it is. I can't think of a lot left in the light world. It's probably something in the dark world. It could be somewhere in Swamp Palace, but at the same time, we would need the hammer. So if the hammer is locked by the lamp, then we know it wouldn't be in Swamp Palace. Then it's really going to be a case of where do we find certain items and where could that lamp be? Maybe we'll have to tie it together later.
Well, nothing ends up being in the Dark Maze, so we're just going to end up mirroring out of there. Now, one thing that occurs to me, it might be in the Myers Shed or perhaps Checkerboard Cave. That's a place we haven't checked yet.
One comment that was made in chat is it could be Graveyard Ledge, but we know Graveyard Ledge was checked. But that same person also suggested Spike Cave, and I don't think we've seen Spike Cave yet. However, we need the hammer to get Spike Cave, so it's still not in logic.
Pretty much there. That's another item that's just out there in the ether waiting to be found. Rywek just goes into Hype Cave and picks up his Ganon killing package, so yay for that.
I would suggest that perhaps... Actually, no, you know what? I'm just thinking a little further here. No, the Land Molus is still not even in logic. So I was going to say it could be on Land Molus, but Land Molus would need the lamp, and the lamp blocks the fire rod, which is why you can say Land Molus would need the lamp. You can fight it with the fire rod to open up the path, but logically it is not in the sequence yet. There's so many things that are sequence broken and possible right now because of that sequence break, that it is going to twist our minds for the next, I don't know, 20 minutes or so until we find the thing that snaps it all back together.
Pretty much there. Our runners are skilled enough to be able to do these dark rooms without it there, but you being able to figure things out according to the game logic just helps so much, and so you don't really realize there's all these things that are blocked by the lamp.
And by the way, Phantom Fox.
Yes, sir?
Did you know there's money in the banana stand?
Gasp, there's money in the banana stand. We was clearly go and and I had a joke about this, but it involved robbery. I was like, that's not a good joke to make.
So that was the hint tile that Kyong just found in Tower of Hera, and I think Rywek would have seen that earlier too. I just didn't comment on it then. So Rywek is now going to make his own Swamp Palace gamble, which will not, unfortunately, pay off, but he is going to make that gamble.
All right, so yeah, as we saw from Rywek's side there, nothing of interest inside of Hera just yet. And I don't believe there's anything on Moldrum either, so... Well, it's another dungeon out of the way, so that's at least useful.
So Kyong is going to take out Moldorm. Now Moldorm, I believe, is actually fully in logic, so this is nothing wrong with getting this out of the way. Actually, no, you know what? Where was the flute again?
I believe the flute was... Oh, gracious. Oh, it was in the Village of Outcasts.
Yeah, I was just thinking Village of Outcasts, and in Titan's Mitt was available. So yeah, we could get to Village of Outcasts without the lamp. So yeah, Tower of Hera is within logic because we did have access to the flute in the Village of Outcasts. So Death Mountain is actually fully in logic. So that is definitely possible. Of course, we can't get to all the Hammerlock locations yet, so that is still not in logic.
Yep, Death Mountain is in logic there, but all the other things that require fire sources are not at the present moment. We got a check of the Misery Mire medallion. I didn't catch it real quick, but we are checking the hut right now.
Our tracker says that it was also Ether, so it looks like Ether in both dungeons today. That means we are not going to need the Quake medallion in our process of figuring out what is still required.
We do find the single arrow in the Mire Shed there, so anything referring to unique items, technically that one arrow does count.
Okay, are we going to find the lamp over here in Checkerboard Cave? Let's find out. Nope, it's red, but not the lamp. We're now on Bonk Rocks. We know this can't be the lamp. Just a map. And that is a... Now, this is where the logic for the maps and compasses comes in earlier. You're not expected to be able to do Tower of Hera until you have the lamp, because the boots are required to get... I think that was the Bonk Rocks, correct? The boots are required to get in there. Because the boots are required to get in there, and they were in the dark area in Palace of Darkness, you have to have the lamp to be able to get all of this. That means the Tower of Hera, which both runners have completed, is actually not in logic yet. So we now know that Tower of Hera technically was also a sequence break.
So let's see there. We've already cleared out Palace of Darkness as much as we could there. Swamp Palace we can't get into. It's locked in every sense of the word at the moment. Thieves Town is pretty much locked to us right... Well, it could be in the back of Thieves Town. We haven't been back there since we picked up the big key.
And the big key was along the K45 route. Actually, it was in K45. So that was a case where the mirror, no, the lamp was not required for that. Yeah, the lamp could be in the back of Thieves Town. It is possible. It also depends on where. Oh wait, no, yeah, the runners just haven't gone back there yet. They're probably waiting for the hammer just to go back there so they can check that last chest as well. But it could be that the lamp could be there, the hammer could even be back there for all we know, or even the shovel could be back there. You don't know. But I think the hammer is really the one thing that we're looking at for go mode in terms of item go mode anyway. The lamp for logical go mode, obviously. And we still need at least one more Turtle Rock key. We still need, ideally, a couple more Palace of Darkness keys to clear out the entire chest locations there to make sure it's not there. The Swamp Palace key we obviously need. The big key for Swamp Palace isn't important.
We need the big key from Misery Mire.
Yeah, the Misery Mire big key, but we did get a hint that that's in Palace of Darkness, so we know that.
We just don't know where exactly there. We still have the Harmless Hellway, the arena, and also the on the Helmasaur King.
I was going to say it's very possibly on Helmasaur King at this point, but it could, of course, be in that... I don't think I'm wondering if he did the Dark Maze. If he didn't, it could be there, but if he did, then yeah, Harmless Hallway is a good possibility as well.
Meanwhile, Rywek has found the, I believe, what was the 4th Turtle Rock key on Land Molus, and Kyong's picking up that up right now as well. So that makes a full clear of Turtle Rock available to us right now, if I'm not...
Not without the hammer.
Not without the hammer, you're right. We can't even open it without the hammer. We made a point of that earlier, and I've already forgotten.
It's an easy thing to forget. You think about what you need inside the dungeon, but you forget what it looks like outside the dungeon, and it's easy to make a mistake like that. And it's not until you actually do it once or twice in a race, and you're like, oh, I can't do this. Well, I'm not going to forget that again.
Jump up and down on the pegs a few times. That should work, right?
It should work. I mean, just grab one of the Armo statues, carry it up Death Mountain, and throw it on the peg, and then get rid of it. That should take it down. No problem. Now, someone is making a comment that it's time to check the Pyramid Fairy, which the runners can do. At least Kyong can do that. However, the Pyramid Fairy also is not in logic yet because we still needed the lamp by logic in order to get to Land Molus. The reason I can say that, and also for Eastern Palace as well, obviously, but even ignoring Eastern Palace, we need it for Land Molus because the Fire Rod was locked by the lamp. Are we going to get a bird toss from Kyong going into Misery Mire, or are we going to get something else?
Hope so.
Come on, Kyong, do the bird toss, pick up the bird. He leaves it behind! Kyong, why?
That's animal cruelty there. I mean, it would be animal cruelty if we went and chucked it into the swamp as well, but at least that would have been funny.
Or we could have just had something more humorous like the bird crush. The fact that Kyong wasn't willing to play with that makes me feel like he might feel he's behind. Which couldn't be further from the truth. Both runners are having the same problems here, trying to find the lamp, and well, the lamp isn't important, but the hammer. Both runners are virtually about tied, except for the dungeons they cleared, specifically. Actually, no, Kyong did do Tower Hera, did he not?
Kyong did do Hera, yes.
Yeah, it's just not marked on our tracker, so he is actually ahead by a dungeon, I believe.
That would be 4 dungeons to 3, so yes.
And there it is now. It's on our tracker now.
All right, looks like Rywek is electing to go into the back of Thieves Town there, while Kyong is plumbing the depths of the Misery Mire.
We have not had a hint for this, and I think he went straight back here, which I find very interesting.
And again, would be another sequence break there because we, logically at this point, they have no access to the fire rod or the lamp.
Okay, we're going to get a check of the hint tile. He almost missed it. A map is held with the fishes. Thanks, game. And going downstairs through the hole, we find a 10 bomb pack. Quick explanation. That 10 bomb pack was added to the item pool when the randomized swords option first became available, the reason it was added is because that is one of the weapons you can get when playing a standard mode with randomized swords activated. Or even swordless.
Pretty much so. You need something to get through escape, and that's one of the options that was added.
So that's why that's in the item pool. But there's the lamp!
Oh, okay. The logic is clicking into place there. Now with that lamp there, everything we have is expected for us to have at this point.
Yeah, if you heard that nice, loud noise, that was the logic being bound back together in one instant fell swoop.
All right, but at the present moment there, all we really need is that hammer, and we will be set as far as items go. Ask and you shall receive. There we now have the object of smacking things hard.
And Brian, your cane was found right next door. Please check into Misery Mire to claim it.
It's more like the lost and found section than Misery Mire.
So Kyong is heading up to the bridge area right now. Just going to make sure there's nothing else interesting, like, you know, a Palace of Darkness key in here.
Oh, that'd be interesting.
Yeah, that would be interesting. Could be on Vidi for all we know. But he wants to make sure he doesn't leave anything behind, because even though he has all the items he needs, he is not in go mode yet. And the reason he is not in go mode yet is because we need another 1 or 2 Palace of Darkness keys. You can skip 1 key because it basically opens the door between 2 sections that can be otherwise accessed. So you need at least 5. And you possibly 4 for some runners who do the hammer yump as well in Palace of Darkness. And you need the Swamp Palace small key, and I think that's about it.
Did we mention the Castle Tower big small key as well?
The other Castle Tower small key. Yeah, the other Castle Tower small key I guess is still needed too. So we will need the second of those to get to Aghanim later too.
Okay, that was a little bit amusing there. Kyong accidentally dashed into the Samari block and punted it all the way back to the door. Ran over, picked it up, and chucked it directly back onto where the switch ended up going. So in a total, let's see, there we need one, two. Oh, sorry.
Quick comment to something said in chat. Swamp Palace Big Key is actually not required unless there is something required inside Swamp Palace Big Chest. So the Swamp Palace Big Key is not important to this, or it may be. We don't know yet.
All right, and with expert mode and also the no silvers in hard and expert mode, Vitreous becomes a lot more difficult than some people are used to. So we are seeing bomb strats on Vitreous eyeballs today.
Yep, the classic old bombs against the bombs causing the eyes to blow up and spread further plasma everywhere upon blowing up. Now he's going to use some of those arrows because he's out of bombs. He had a full maxed out arrow quiver. Why not use some of them? Here comes more lightning. Fun fact, by the way, if you actually throw an arrow at that lightning, it will actually stick to the lightning and scroll down off screen. I actually have seen a clip of this. Very, very hilarious when you see it slowed down.
Who knew that lightning was a physical object you can nail to the wall?
Yeah, I thought that was kind of funny when I saw it. I might still have access to that somewhere too. I just have to find where it is.
All right, looks like Rywek is holding or entering Misery Mire in right now there. The bird is taking a bath, unfortunately. No tossing of the bird today.
Yeah, that bird will not be tossed. He's just going to be left right where he is.
Give us the bird. We can't. This is a PG stream. Alright, so we are basically just key searching at this point there. We are already have all the items that we need, as was mentioned. So where would you head to next there? Swamp Palace is still locked off to us there. Rywek didn't find anything terribly interesting in Thieves Town except for that one, I believe, Turtle Rock key. No, he already has all the Turtle Rock keys.
I'm just doing some thinking here, trying to, not trying to ignore what you're saying here. I'm just doing some thinking here. The hammer was located in Misery Mire. The hammer is needed to beat Palace of Darkness, and you find the Misery Mire big key in Palace of Darkness. So I forget where in Palace of Darkness the Misery Mire big key was located. I'm trying to figure out which one you would actually have to dip into first, logically, in order to, or if you can go either way to get the hammer first and then go to Palace of Darkness and clear it. I'm actually curious how that fit in logically today.
I see here. Where did we end up finding the Ether Medallion then?
Ether was located. Actually, it was not too long ago. I'm trying to remember where it was now myself. Was it Stump? I think it was Stumpy. It was on.
It was on Stumpy. You're right there. So I mean, let's see. We had the hookshot from the very beginning there. So we had hookshot, and we found the flute without sequence breaking anything there. So Misery Mire first to get the hammer and the lamp there. Then we can and then you can do all of Palace of Dark. No, we can't. We needed the big key to be able to finish off. So I think it was supposed to go like Misery Mire, Palace of Darkness, and then back to Misery Mire. Was the intended progression.
I'm reading that the Misery Mire big key was the Bowlock side of Palace of Darkness, so you could have gotten to that without the hammer. So you would have been able to go to Palace of Darkness first, got the Misery Mire big key, and you could do all of Misery Mire, which is what Kyong did. I'm not sure if you could have. I think you could have come and gotten the hammer as well if you have enough small keys, where I don't think you need very many of them. And you could have gone back to Palace of Darkness first. I think it could have worked either way today. As Rywek gets his lamp, we also had a hint tower from Kyong in the room before the Sunshine Room, as I like to call it. That lovely hint towel told us that the big key of Evil's Bane requires a bomb. Thanks, game. You mean this big key?
Gasp! Shock and awe. Whatever will we do with this incredibly vague information that we already know what to do with?
So that was our guaranteed big key hint, but we've already found it, so not really a useful hint at this point.
Would have been nice earlier there, but I mean, the Hap Cave is something that every run checks pretty much regardless, so whatever.
Pretty much.
Now, Rywek has already done Thieves Town and is finishing up Misery Mire, but only 10 arrows inside of the Thieves Town big chest, so Rywek did not miss anything by having skipped that when he was first in here.
So Kyong is going to take the beautiful maiden. By the way, he has the hammer. Where was yeah, he was in Misery Mire. Yeah, that's right. Did Rywek not get the hammer from Misery Mire? He did.
He
okay.
should have, I would imagine so.
I was thrown off for a moment because I didn't see it marked on Rywek's tracker, but according to our tracker, apparently it's not picked up. I find that very interesting. So that threw me off for just a second when I noticed that Rywek didn't pick it up, and I was wondering how did Kyong get it for a second there. He did, of course, get the hammer island chest, which was nothing useful. He is took that beautiful maiden, turned into an ugly monster. We killed that ugly monster. We got our compass for Turtle Rock, and I think we have our map already. So now Turtle Rock is logically fully accessible and completable by logic because we found, both the map and the compass.
Pretty much there, and I believe that's going to be our next stop, unless Kyong feels like going to Ice Palace right now. Well, we already know from seeing from Rywek that Ice Palace is just full of trash. I mean, it is, and it's also being Ice Palace.
Yeah, Ice Palace is just being Ice Palace today. So Kyong does have 5 dungeons marked off at this point. That should be 6 because Thieves Town was just cleared. I see 4 marked off for Rywek, assuming I didn't miss any completed by him. So Kyong is in a little bit of a lead here, to say the least. And having that hammer and lamp, well, the lamp not so much important, but the hammer at least, I would say is in a lead positionally as well. So we're not going to call it until the end of the seed, but he is in a good position at this point.
And it looks like Kyong is going into Ice Palace there. None of the go mode keys that we need are there, but it's still a required dungeon because all dungeons. So let's head in.
Yeah, we have to do it anyway, but he's going to. Oh, he just set the portal. I don't think he wants to. I think he's planning to do something else that doesn't use a portal. Perhaps just maybe want the portal left there. But I find it strange that he would leave a portal there of all places. So maybe he just decided, no, this wasn't where I wanted to go. I'm going to go up to Turtle Rock instead because it's logically fully available. Ice Palace is a pain to full clear. I want to do Turtle Rock instead because I don't save too much time doing it in go mode. So might as well see if everything's up there first before doing Ice Palace. This will work out very well for him because we know there's nothing in Ice Palace. If you find
Yeah,
the swamp,
pretty much. And then, although, let's see, in going through the Turtle Rock portal on top of the head there, that does that erase the portal that we left at Ice Palace?
I believe once you go to the Dark World, I think that does erase the portal. I think the game treats going into the Dark World as removing any portal that exists. Because you would be able to restart the game in the Dark World with the mirror. So if you restart the game, you're back in the Dark World anyway. You have to mirror back to the Light World.
Fair enough there. All right, so it is now Turtle Rock time.
There is one detail I left out, though. You have to defeat Aghanim for that to happen, and the runners obviously have not done that yet. So that we may... this may be a situation where I don't know, actually, technically, whether the game actually would still leave the portal there or not. Maybe someone who knows has actually done that and has experienced that can confirm that for us. But I believe going to the Dark World removes the portal. I could be mistaken on that. Now, speaking noted, this is Kyong's last crystal as well. Ganon's Tower is available. Yes, it's in all dungeons. Yes, Palace of Darkness, Swamp Palace, and Ice Palace have to be cleared. But I think, since chat pointed this out, and since I can look at the tracker and confirm this is his last crystal, he might be thinking the Swamp Palace small key is in Ganon's Tower. If the Swamp Palace small key is in Ganon's Tower, then this is a good play. Same with the extra 1 or 2 keys in Palace of Darkness. If they're in there, it's also a good play. If the Ice Palace, who cares? It's Ice Palace, but it's also he's just going to do all 3 of them at the same time after killing Ganon's Tower, I think.
Quite possibly, yes. And we're already here at the top of the Death Mountain anyway, so why not go pay a visit?
Well, he actually came up here after deciding not to do Ice Palace, and I think the reason he didn't do Ice Palace yet is because that's the closest access point. That and Swamp Palace are close access points to Ganon's Tower. He can do everything in one swoop there with the exception of Palace of Darkness. And
exactly.
As he gets those 2 out of the way, he can go straight up to Hyrule Castle, go through the intro to escape again, and do Aghanim last, just like he normally does. So what does Chompy have for us today? I just like to call the chain chomps Chompy because, you have to give your pets a nickname, right? They just carried
and they're
20
being
bucks.
guard dogs today, just $20.
Now, we don't have to steal the key, but they may still go and check the Lava Island chest, or Kyong might, just to make sure he doesn't orphan that item there. That would be a good play, I believe, to do that. Rywek is getting his items out of Palace of Darkness. He did get his boots. He is going to try to hammer Yump here.
Yeah, when you don't have all the small keys to Palace of Darkness, or at least enough of them to go through, then yeah, hammer yumping is the way to go.
I think he might be taking too long setting it up. He might lose the bomb in the pit at this point. It's taking a long time to set it up. And there's the tiles falling. Yeah, he's losing the bomb. Yeah, he realized it, and he is trying to figure out what to do. He's just going to mirror back out and try it from the beginning, I think. Or maybe even just leave. Yeah, he's leaving.
It's had unfortunate there, because I think in that dark room he had, did he get the boots yet? Oh yeah, he does have the boots already. So,
yeah, he got the boots.
He got the boots from the Dark U.
Right now he's robbing the king. I don't know if Kyong actually checked this, but let's see what's down here. It is okay. He did get this. It's just a compass.
Yeah,
he did.
We did check that earlier. I mean, I know this is randomizer and everything there, but part of me wonders, like, who on earth would go and make this big, giant, ornate chest there and then just put $5 inside?
Stealing the king's money. That's something to be said for that. And there's Rywek's Tower Hera map, which for a tower, an area he has already cleared. Thanks, game. Rywek is now double dipping in the Misery Mire, so this will be his second trip there. Did he not pick up the Misery Mire Big Key? I think he would have gone through that area. Would he not have?
I thought that he did, but I was not watching that screen at the moment.
Our tracker does not have it marked, so we'll have to check his menu here and see if he did indeed pick that up. Kyong just found the Swamp Palace Big Key, not the key he wanted. So, that's the Palace of Darkness small key. And he's going to take advantage of the KS Mario block. A very nice trick there to get the beetle out of the way. And throw it into the pit. So he doesn't find anything in the last chest. And I'm going to keep an eye on Rywek's menu to make sure whether he has the big... There's the hammer. He does have the hammer at least, and he's not happy about that. That's about 5 rage slashes to that chest. So he's not very happy with that at all. And I think
well-deserved rage slashes at that, too.
I think he knows he's behind now. He definitely knows he's behind at this point. So he is continuing, and he's going to go to the Firelock side, I believe, to get his items over there, which they couldn't. Yeah, I know the lamp was not over here, but the lamp was in here. It doesn't look like he's picked that up yet. Kyong is taking on Trinex right now. There is one more item on Trinex, and after we defeat Trinex, we're not going to play the Ganon's Tower Big Key guessing game, because if you guess location, let's say 96, you already won the game. So we're not going to be putting numbers in chat to guess where that big key is, because it's already in both runners' inventories. It just required a bomb today, according to the hint tile. Anyway, enough of that. Kyong has taken out the 2 heads and is going to wait for the main head to emerge. Going to leave a nice spin slash. Master Sword makes it a little harder, so he's just going to get the hammer strats and pound the center 3 times, and that is the 7th crystal for Kyong in about 7 seconds or so. And what is he going to drop? He drops a small key for Swamp Palace!
Oh, there we go. That's what we are looking for there. So we've got the Swamp Palace keys. We're still looking for a couple Palace of Darkness keys. I'm not sure if we can get to Helmut Sword at the present moment, but that Swamp Palace key is something big off the mind of Kyong, because that can be almost literally anywhere in the game.
So while Kyong is going to do Ganon's Tower while he's up here, because that's convenient, he would have been looking in Ganon's Tower for the last for that Swamp Palace key anyway if he still needed it. So this was his plan all along. He's going to stay with the plan. He's going to do Swamp Palace later, knowing that the odds of Swamp Palace having something of use have dramatically gone down. I think it would be nice to have to get one more Palace of Darkness key during the... Actually, no, he may not even search the chest now. It's possible he might have enough keys already to do Palace of Darkness. So I think he might be in go mode. And no, maybe not. He is looking for one more key. I guess he decided he needs one more key. So he is going to check the chest after all. And I think if he finds a Palace of Darkness big key, that's going to put him into go mode. Now, we do have confirmation that Rywek does have the big key for Mr. Mario, because he's at Viddy now. He did get that while he was in Palace of Darkness. It just wasn't on our tracker. It is now. So that is no longer something we have to look for. He does have the lamp as well. He did pick that up while he was here.
Yeah, we did see him pick that up, I think, on his first trip, if I'm not mistaken.
And now he's getting the compass from Viddy, and that is a finished dungeon. Yeah, okay, I stand correct. He's looking for the Castle Tower small key still. I knew there was something else missing. So it may not even be Palace of Darkness he's interested in. He's just looking for that Castle Tower key, which would be ironic, but it could be in here.
Yeah, it's still one out there in the world. Up, get a heart in peace there. Does that fill us up? No. Still ways to go for that.
Now, it's also possible that Castle Tower Small Key could be in Swamp Palace. It could be on Helmasar King, for all we know, in Palace of Darkness. Could be an Ice Palace on Cold Stair. Any of those is possible. But he is going to clean out all the chests here and just make sure. He's going with numbers here. There's 22 items here, plus the big chest. 23 items, plus 4 upstairs. He's going to go with the numbers play and hope that it is in here so he doesn't have to search for it everywhere else and can just go mode all those dungeons.
Now, is it possible that there could be the Castle Tower Small Key on the pedestal?
Ooh. You know what? You have a point. That's possible.
It's unlikely, but it's definitely possible, so let's see how that goes.
Oh man, that is one I didn't think of, and I'm one who likes to think of these things. I tip my hat to you, sir.
Well, thank you. I mean, this is all dungeons, so pedestal checks are just another one-off check instead of the big ordeal that they are in other seeds, but even so.
You do realize, of course, if it does happen, I am obligated to burn you.
Yeah, I could use a tan anyway.
There's a small key to Tower of Hera. Basement is now available. I don't know if we had a hint for the basement or not. There is the big key for Skull Woods. Make sure you use that big key for the boss you already defeated, because you don't need the boss key to get in there. But that means
yeah, they'll open up.
I was gonna say that opens up the big chest though, so that is still a possibility.
Exactly. Yeah, we can still open up that. It's another one-off location that's been opened up to us now.
And the reason it's a one-off is because again, these are 2 dungeons we've already completed. They could be in those 2 locations, and I guarantee you they would cause rage slashes from both runners, perhaps, if they are found there.
Oh yeah, no doubt there. But it looks like we're going to check Bob's chest, and then it'll be off to Ice Armos. Or the chest that would be Bob's chest if Bob was still here with us.
No, he was just healed by the torch. It's still Bob, he just was healed.
Alright, there they go. Ice Armors are just a tad slow to wake up, but we are playing our shooting gallery game right now.
Kyong does it properly this time and doesn't lose doesn't have 1 turn red, gets it before it turns red. Chest number 17 has now been opened. We still have no Swamp Palace small key. We still have no... actually, no, we did find the Swamp Palace small key. That was on Trinex, of course. We still have no Castle Tower small key, is what I meant to say. So he is still looking for that.
So all we got left here in Ganon's Tower is the tile room.
Well, he skipped the big chest, which I find very interesting. What if it's in there?
I thought he opened the big chest right before before the Ice Armos.
I think he mirrored out. Oh, did he do it before Ice Armor? Okay, I didn't see that.
I believe so.
If he did, then disregard. I didn't see it. Yeah, we're being told he does. He did get the big chest. I didn't see him go to the big chest first. I usually see it done after getting those 3 chests behind Ice Armos.
Just a piece of heart there inside the tile room there. So
he's not going upstairs.
He's not going up the tower.
I find that really interesting. Why? Oh, he wants to get the Tower of Hera check out of the way since he's here. I like this play. This is good routing by Kyong. This is why Kyong is one of the best players at this game. This is why Kyong went 15-0 in the pools. Routing decisions like this. This is why he is a force to be reckoned with in this tournament.
That is correct there. I mean, you're right here on the doorstep. It's a perfect idea to go and check it anyway.
And not even going to do the coffee... now he's going to do the coffee break. So yeah, he's doing the coffee break. little moment to have a nice sip of Joe and think about where could that castle tower key be, and maybe take something for the headache being caused by this weird problem, perplexing problem.
Yeah, we're already an hour and 40 minutes into the seed there, and we're just missing that castle tower key and maybe a bod key or two if you're really feeling like it. Although we could probably get back to the Helmosaur King at the present moment without it, but it would make things a lot easier.
Runners this caliber typically can do it with 4, at most 5 keys. The 1 key is not really needed because it just opens the door between the 2 areas, convenience. We can confirm that we just have blueberries in the coffee break room, so that is not the castle tower small key. He's going to go back to Ganon's tower. He's going to go upstairs, and he's going to see if it's upstairs. But like we said, the routing to get it out of the way while he was here, this was a fantastic routing decision because he doesn't have to make his way all the way back up the mountain later after clearing Ganon's tower in the event that it's not upstairs.
Meanwhile, Rywek is taking down Helmosaur King, so yes, indeed, we can get to Helmosaur King with just the keys that we have here. But on Helmosaur King there, we've just got 20 bucks there. I was going to say it would be something if the Castle Tower small key was on Helmosaur King and we got put into no mode, but not today, as the case would be.
It's going to be interesting that Rywek is actually doing all the pendant dungeons, it looks like, first, or at least what he can. He can't do Swamp Palace yet, obviously, because we know he has to do Turtle Rock first to do that. He could go back and do Ice Palace. Let's see if he actually chooses to do that. He gets bird travel. He is going to Ice Palace, so we are going to get a look at Ice Palace while Kyong makes his way upstairs. We did see a lot of Ice Palace already. It was pretty much garbage. I'll say that up front. It was trash. I wouldn't waste my time going in knowing what was in there.
Yep, it was garbage and it had no items in it.
But we have, exactly, it was garbage items. But we still don't know what Cold Stare has because we couldn't get to Cold Stare before. Now we can. Rywek is going to show us if the Castle Tower small key is the one treasure that's been in here all this time, and if our Krakow friend in the basement actually has it.
Yeah, we've got a lot of one-off locations it could be there. Ice Palace is one of them, so let's see where we are headed.
It should be noted as well that both chests in Castle Tower have already been checked. We know that the Castle Tower small key is not in there today.
We do still have like another, 4 chests here at the top, in the top of Ganon's tower that we can check, so still some options there too. Alright, Kyong's making his way through the Wizrobe room. Always satisfying to see those get taken out in one fell swoop.
Yeah, beautiful.
And these ones as well.
It's one of those beautiful things you can do, and it's when you play Randomizer, that's when things like that get mixed up because you got different enemies in there, and it's like, well, you can't do this as fast as you normally do, but always beautiful to see those Wizrobes get taken out quickly like that.
Oh yeah, definitely. Alright, Kyong gets to the torch room with barely enough magic, but barely enough is enough, so onward we go.
Gets his full magic refill and lights the torches, heading back, heading to the first chest on the upper floor. There is our small key to Misery Mire. I almost got excited. Small key to Misery Mire. We know that it's not the one on the Lumberjack. There is a small key on the Lumberjack. We don't have that yet, but we can't even get to it yet, so we know that's not it. So what is this one going to be? This is a bundle of blueberries.
All we've got left is Moldorm's Last Possessions, so...
And we're going to be raiding Moldorm's Last Possessions today, needless to say, because we still need that small key. It's not very often you get up to here, you still need something, but we still need something.
Pretty much, and Moldorm shoves Kyong off the side and was like, no, my stuff, no touchy.
Oh, do not take my item. I am the guard.
I am the easily distractible guard who spins in circles for no good reason.
I am a dead guard. Just a small heart piece. Take his heart. So it's worth noting that Kyong does have 8 hearts available to him. He is maybe 1 or 2, maybe 3. I didn't see how many he has. Heart pieces away from having all the health available. So this is turning into sort of like a 100% seed here.
We're getting to that point, yeah. We've checked almost everywhere that can be checked. Even both of the tablets, I believe.
Yeah, the collection rates are going to be very interesting to see on this seed. That was a single hit. I didn't catch how many hits were on the first one. It looked like a single. Might have been a double.
He reflected 2 shots. I'm not sure if they hit at the same time.
Yeah,
so
that's what I'm not sure about. Okay, it was 2, so that was a single, and that was enough. So 2-1, 2-1. It is Kyong is done the Aghanim 2 fight, but it is still not time for the big pig. We'll get to him later. Because Kyong still has 3 pendant dungeons and Aghanim's tower to do, and we don't know where the castle tower small key is yet. This is far from over.
We do have all the chests in Swamp House that are now open to us there. It could be possibly be in there.
That is true. It could be in Swamp Palace, and Rywek cannot go there yet. So that is one thing that Rywek cannot do. What Rywek needs to hope for right now is that Castle Tower small key is here in Ice Palace on Cold Stair. That's what he needs right now. If it is not here on Cold Stair, I would almost be ready to call at this point that Kyong will most likely win this race. If Rywek finds it before Kyong does here in Ice Palace, which Kyong is actually checking Ice Palace again as well now, for his, I think this is his first visit. If he finds it first, he will have a slight edge on a couple dungeons he can do in Go mode, like Turtle Rock, but possibly. But now that Kyong is going in behind him, it may not be enough.
Yeah, I don't believe Rywek has found that Swamp Palace key from Trinex.
No.
So he's not will be in Go mode just yet.
Yeah, if Kyong went to Swamp Palace first, that would have been what Rywek needed if the Castle Tower small key is in here. And it is very possible the Castle Tower small key could be in here, or it could be in Swamp Palace. Or, like you said, it could be on the pedestal.
I'm still holding up for that there, but it's looking increasingly less likely. Oh, down to 1 heart for Rywek. He has to be careful with his last buff.
Well, we've never had a pedestal check, so we honestly don't know. That's a map. That is not a small key. Eastern Palace is now fully in logic.
Gasp! Shock and awe! Whatever shall we do?
Oh, man. So the logic expected you to go to Eastern Palace, get the Misery Mire big key, go to Misery Mire to get the hammer, complete Palace of Darkness with that, obviously, but then to come over to Ice Palace and defeat Cold Stair before even going back to Eastern Palace. Seed, please.
Why would you do this to us? Alright, so now with Ice Palace completely finished there, where does Rywek go from here? Well, one place he really can go there, and that's Turtle Rock.
Yeah, Turtle Rock's the only place he can go. He can't go to Swamp Palace at all. There's nothing else available to him. He's going to check the Pyramid Ferry. Kyong did not check this, I don't think. If the Castle Tower small key is here. I don't think he did. One of the chests is cash. We do know this. We don't know what the other chest is, because we did not get a proper Pyramid Ferry hint today. If the small key for Castle Tower is a Pyramid Ferry, not only will I be extremely delighted and wanting to sing, which I will not do because we don't do that, but it will be a huge boost to Rywek as long as Kyong does not go there, because he'll be able to go mode Swamp Palace. He'll be able to go mode Turtle Rock, I think. He'll be able to get back in the game. This could be what Rywek needs to take a win off Kyong. We'll see what happens here. Will we find the Castle Tower small key in one of these chests? Let's find out. There's the money. There's more money. a little anticlimactic, so not there.
Great Fairy, do you have the key on you?
Do you fill bottles with keys? It's getting tiring. This is like the, this Castle Tower small key is harder to find than the big key in Ganon's Tower today.
Every Kisana DC, there's one small niggling detail that just eludes you for the longest time. We're nearing up on 2 hours, and today it's a Castle Tower small key.
And I'm at the point now that we have to full clear Swamp Palace looking for this thing. There's nowhere else it could be. It's either in Swamp Palace or it's on the pedestal. And I can tell you which one I think chat prefers.
I know which one I prefer.
As a commentator, yeah, you qualify.
Alright, so Rywek is going to be heading over to Turtle Rock and be picking up that Swamp Palace key. So, just by process of elimination, like you were saying, that's all we got left to us.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else that the writers have not cleared. This is literally almost 100% seed.
We have not seen a Spike Cave yet.
Oh yeah, Spike Cave I guess is possible too. But will Rywek check that while he's up here at Turtle Rock? I doubt it because he's going to want to go to Ganon's Tower, so I don't think he's going to check Spike Cave after doing Turtle Rock. But that is possible. Very good call. I don't think we've seen it yet. It's been so long, I can't even think of places that are left to check. There's that few places left.
Chad is asking also about, did we have checked shovel spot yet either?
Where was the shovel?
It's been so long, I don't even remember right now.
I didn't even remember seeing him pick it up, so that's interesting. That's very interesting. But yeah, the shovel spot I don't think has been checked.
Oh, and Sasha too there. Someone just pointed that out as well. We haven't not checked what's in Sasha's pockets.
Yeah, we could not yet because Kyong hadn't done any independence anyway. So that is a possible check now. Because I think that was the... Actually, which one was the green pendant? That was Swamp Palace that was the green pendant. So he has to go to Swamp Palace before he can even check Sasha.
Oh, that's a good point. Yep.
We're going to get the shovel spot. So let's find out if Kyong finds the small key. This is new information to us. The shovel
let's find out for chivalry.
He says no thank you.
Just some poorly implemented landmines.
Yeah, they didn't do their job.
It's like, yeah, man, we just bury some bombs. Someone's gonna walk over it and go boom, right? Shouldn't we set the mall bombs up first? No, you just have to walk over them. It'll be fine.
And someone in chat said Pyramid Fairy. We saw that about 5 minutes ago. It is not Pyramid Fairy. So that is out of the scenario as well. Just $25 in there today. Rywek taking a death warp to get his health back instead of using the mirror. I appreciate that play. That's a good play.
Death. It will cure what ails you.
Death. We meet again. So, Kyong already came in here, as did Rywek looking in the first chest earlier. The first chest is already open. They've already looked at the hint. I bet you they wish they had a Castle Tower small key hint right now, to say the least. But let's find out if the Castle Tower small key is in here. We have to do the dungeon anyway, but we can do the rest of it in go mode as soon as we find that Castle Tower small key. Will it be in this first chest? I've seen the hammer in here before. This could be the Castle Tower small key. It is not. It is $5.
Could still be somewhere else in Swamp Palace, though. Ganon could have flushed it down the toilet.
And this is the swamp, so yeah. So he's going to make sure to get the key from the basement before he floods the room. Once you flood the key once, you never do it again.
Yep, no one likes a soggy key. And no one likes having to trek outside of the dungeon to reset the water either.
Yeah, that's a lot of time wasted to do that.
And now for the eternal decision. Do you do left side first or after the boss?
Yes. My guess is he's going to do the boss first because he has to do the boss anyway. At this point, that's the better play to make because if it's not on the left side and it turns out to be on the boss, you're losing time. He will do the boss first.
And looks like you are correct there. Just 20 rupees inside the big chest, so on we go on towards the eyeball puff monster.
He will check the chests along the way, though, because he won't be able to come back to those chests. The ones on the left side would have been out of the way. And that's why he's doing them later, because they're out of the way of the objective, which is to take out the boss. So he will get the other two on the left side if he does not find it anywhere in this area. But if he does not find it anywhere in this area, keep in mind the pedestal is looking more and more likely that it could be the castle tower small key. Or it's right there.
Well, there we go there, folks. We are now officially in go mode, although there's not much left to go mode at this point.
At 1 hour, 56 minutes, and 10 seconds, Kyong92 is indeed in go mode.
So Kyong did look out there, and he can skip the entire left side of swamp. That is no longer necessary. So made a good call there. You never know some days, and it worked out in his favor today.
Well, even if it was not on that side, I would still support doing that entire sequence before going to the left side. Only because this is your last dungeon before Castle Tower, at least. I believe he did Ice Palace, and we just don't have it marked off yet. I don't know. Actually, I don't know if he did Palace of Darkness, Homostar King yet. If not, he still has to do that. But you are near the end of the seed either way, and you just have to go to Palace of Dark. You just have to go to Castle Tower and defeat Agaton. But you need to find that small key. That's all he had to do. He has it. He's able to finish now. He can finish the game. Pedestal's not in play anymore either.
Yeah, just Palace of Darkness, Homostar King is left, and then right to Castle Tower.
I'm being confirmed in chat that he did not go back to Pod yet, so he still has to defeat Homostar King. But at this point, it will be too little too late, as Rywek still has to finish Turtle Rock here. He's in the dark KSMR room right now. He's going to check Laser Bridge because, again, he's still looking for that Castle Tower small key as well. We now know it's in Swamp Palace, which he can't even get to yet until he finishes Turtle Rock. And, oh boy, this is going to be an interesting scene to talk about with these two when they get in here.
Pretty much, yeah. Rywek has to do all of Ganon's tower there. Now, one thing of interest, though, I mean, this is unlikely to happen, but if Rywek, gets to go straight to Swamp Palace from here and not Ganon's tower, could he just go skip the whole basement entirely?
That remains to be seen.
It might be too little too late there, but it could be a time save at least and possibly give some hope, although the numbers play would be to go to Ganon's Tower at that point. But in the meanwhile, we've got Kyong making the march towards Homostar King, and then after that, we can go right on to to Aga 1 and then the Pig King.
The Pig King. I still prefer the Big Pig.
Yeah, it's got a better ring to it, I guess. I mean, we could come up with some other interesting names for it if you want as well, like the Porkmeister.
Okay, I'll stick with the Big Pig. I mean, if I wanted to come up with a fancy name, I'd do something like the Sandwich Finisher.
Not bad, not bad.
Thank you.
What else can we do? Okay, that's some smooth finishing off of the turtles there. I have to give props to that.
Okay, so Kyong is going to now finish his last pendant dungeon. But he will not be off to the pedestal. No, he will not. He will be off to Castle Tower to complete the long-awaited demise of the first version of Ganon, of whose second version we defeated about 15-20 minutes ago. And in this dimension, he is still not defeated.
Wait a second, this isn't Ocarina of Time. Where are all these time travel shenanigans coming in?
Beats me. Anyway, Kyong has completed Homostar King, has his red pendant, and he's out of there. He's heading straight up to Hyrule Castle. And this is where I said logically he's going to leave either this or Ice Palace for last, because it's so... Actually, no, I take that back. He's not even near. He's not even near. But he's taking what I said before completely and stomping on it. Very, very footily. Mainly because he can flute to his house, and that is closer to the castle than any of the dungeons that he could have possibly completed.
Pretty much, yeah. So, onward to the wizard.
And slash the barrier, which hasn't even disappeared yet. He's already inside.
We just snuck past that. I don't even... What is it? Is that a seal? Is that a searchlight? What is it?
It is a barrier of holy light that blocks the path forward to those who are not capable of causing its demise.
Well, it's either that or it's a signal for Batman, so...
I might like that one better. Rywek doing tower room. Rywek doing tower room against tower right now. Won't find what he's looking for in here, unfortunately. But Kyong did the exact same thing. He cleared everything against tower. It's the right play to make at this point because he doesn't know where that small key is yet. But now that he's completed Turtle Rock, that small key is available in Swamp Palace.
So at this point, how many chests have gone unchecked at the moment? What's going to be our completion rate for this seed on the Kyong side?
We could see something close to a 200 here. I was calling a festive seed yesterday, and I was we were just having a discussion on clear rates and saying it would be interesting to see a seed where we have to actually have 200 items cleared. This could be that seed where 200 items were checked. We'll find out when we get there.
Yep, well, we have 2 in Swamp Palace, that's for sure. We've got 1, 2 in Palace of Darkness, that's 4 total. That I can remember off the top of my head.
The pedestal.
That's 5. Or it makes 5, I should say.
Spike Cave we never saw.
Okay, that's 6.
And then anything out in the open that we saw but did not pick up counts. That's a possible couple items. I don't know if we saw Desert Ledge either. I don't remember what was there anyway. So yeah,
Floating Island and Desert Ledge, that's 6, 7, and 8.
Not to cut you off, but let's have our other little game that we play in chat. How many blue balls is Zach going to throw today? I'm going to go with the logical play of 3 because, well, always. What are you going to say?
I want to say 4, but let's make things a little bit spicy and go for 5.
Ooh. That means it's going to be 4. So to explain this Ganon fight, the first shot is always going to be an orb you can bounce back at him. The second shot can either be a blue ball or another of those orbs, 50-50 chance. So can the third and fourth shots. 1 blue ball, And then after 4 shots, whatever they end up being, you have this lightning crescendo, this little intermission of lightning that Kyong just witnessed. So, by that logic, it's possible to get a maximum of 15 blue balls. We're going to be nowhere close to that today because we already have 4 hits on Ganon, 5 hits on Ganon. If we This could be a blue ball or a orb. That's our second blue ball. 2 blue balls. And then we're going to get our final hit. So 2 is the winner today. If you said 2, congratulations, you win a trip to the Misery Mire Springs, and may you dwell in sorrow in them. Enjoy.
Enjoy your complimentary bird tossing while you're there. It's all the rage.
Yes. Toss birds. We're getting bug facts, it looks like, from Ganon today. Hashtag bug facts.
Is that something new with the Cane of Samaria blocks to give it the easier spin slashes?
I don't think it's new, but I have seen it implemented. There was one time I saw a runner using it, and to me it was ingenious. It's always been there, but I only saw it for the first time myself maybe a week or 2 ago, and I think it's going to start becoming more common now because it worked to very good effect. It worked very well. And as you can see, Kyong is doing that now as well. So this is a brilliant thing that you can do with Cane of Samaria, and I didn't even know about it. It's been there for so long.
Pretty much, it's pretty nifty. I really like it myself. Allows you to just lock yourself in to get the double spin slashes off without being pushed away.
And that's the problem with the Master Sword Ganon fight, which, by the way, Ganon is very, very warpy today. Ganon, please stay put. We would really appreciate that if you stay put. Thank you. There's our first hit. As we are in phase 3, I should point out, for Kyong. So 3 more of those hits. Hopefully no more fire bats. And then we are off to the final phase. And the silver arrows that we picked up earlier are finally going to be able to work. So we're going to be able to use those to make ourselves some nice crispy bacon.
Yeah, didn't you know that Ganon is part werewolf? That's why he's weak to them.
And did we find the silver arrows in Dark World? Yes, we did. Would you like to see one?
We just pinned one on your wall. Doesn't it look nice?
It's beautiful. What a beautiful silver arrow. That's such a beautiful ornament. Preferably turned in a portion and placed on a placard to hang on the wall would probably be a lot prettier.
Well then, once we do that, we'll be able to hang your head, Ganon.
Yes. And Kyong has taken down the Big Pig and is going to be the first runner to finish the seed today. We will have an official SRL time for you in just a moment here, as Kyong just has to cross a small bridge, which he does successfully. Kyong has finished in first place with an official SRL time of 2 hours, 7 minutes, and 51 seconds. Get your GGs in chat for him. And a very, very hard-fought victory, to say the least. And Triforce just says thanks for playing, so at least it didn't go trying to troll at the end saying, cool seed, huh, bro? Cool seed.
Yeah, last thing we need is like a 90s dude bro, Triforce.
Now I had been asking if the runners wanted to do a French interview, and I don't see Kyong saying he wanted to do that, so Kyong will probably be joining us. Again, this was being broadcast in French on Speaking Francais, so if you want to see the other commentary for the race and you understand French, you can definitely go check that out later if you wish to, and see how they called the race as well. Meanwhile, Kyong will probably be joining us in just a moment here.
Meanwhile, Rywek is making the way up Ganon's tower. He's not going to be finding that castle tower key, so yeah, the rest of Ganon's tower full clear, and then Swamp Pal's almost full clear, and we'll be having right on Kyong's heels after that.
For some reason, it looks like Kyong did not get the Discord invite, so I'm going to see if I can check into what's going on here for a moment. Okay, looks like it might have gone out now, so he should be joining us in a moment here. There he is. Kyong, welcome, and GG to you, sir.
Thank you.
So, there are so many things we could talk about in that seed. But I think the one that might be the most interesting is the Castle Tower small key search. What were your thoughts going through Ganon's Tower with 3 pending dungeons still unchecked?
I thought it was it was fine. It's something that happens pretty often. Just a top flag, so it's not unusual or anything really.
Yeah, it ended up being quite the search there, with Swamp Palace being literally locked for such a long time there. What were your thoughts on the seed as a whole there? Was there any interesting decisions that you felt you had to make along the way?
Overall, I thought it was somewhat friendly. We got the hard container early. I had the Master Sword pretty early as well. Don't think there was that many like super highlights, I guess.
Yeah, this was a very lucrative seed early on there, with the flippers and the hook shot early on there, and early bow as well. A lot of the items are easy to get early on there. Although one thing that we ended up spending a lot of time talking about there was the lamp and the hammer being unfound for such a long time there. Did that weigh on your mind any as you were going through the seed?
That was pretty interesting, but at the same time, that just forces you towards them since they block so much stuff, and it was kind of unexpected, honestly. I was thinking I'll probably end up finding hammer here. Didn't expect that as well, but that was nice.
That Misery Mire was really loaded too. I mean, we were talking about the lamp for some time, and obviously you and Rywek, you don't need the lamp. We know that. But it's always interesting to know where it is from a logic perspective, because that's when you know that everything you've done and everything you still need to do is now fully in logic. There were so many things that we had to consider were not in logic. The lamp was in Misery Mire, so obviously the dark area back there was then in logic. But we did Eastern Palace. Desert Palace was locked by the lamp because the fire rod also required the lamp, so technically Desert Palace was not in logic. Tower of Hera also, oddly enough, and I think that was not in logic for a different reason, but there was a reason that Tower of Hera was not in logic for some time without the lamp, because of where the flute was. That was the reason for that. So many things were out of logic, so it must have been a little bit of relief, not just to find the hammer, but also to find that lamp in Misery Mire today.
Yeah, I was definitely trying to prep myself to having to do the back of Mire lampless into the Vitros fight, which could have been pretty rough. I think I had 6 hearts or something around there, 6 or 7.
Yeah, something around 6 or 7. I think you finished with 8, unless you found the last heart piece somewhere. That was almost a 100% seed too, as well.
Yeah, I finished it with 8.
8 locations left to check.
8 hearts, sorry.
8 hearts, yes. 8 out of the maximum 9. Yep.
Yeah, I think what's left is probably about 1 or 2 heart pieces. Probably is all that remains to find for that. So we know that there are some 8 locations, at least, that we could count, possibly more. We'll see the item counts in a moment, so we'll see that in a moment. But probably that last couple pieces of heart is just in those few locations that are left. And it had to be a high item count today, so because we had to check literally everything in every dungeon. Normal for a key sanity, I'm sure, but still, it must have been going through all those extra checks. Like, you couldn't even get to Swamp Palace until you finished Turtle Rock, and that's where the small key for Castle Tower was. But of course, at that point, you're already on Death Mountain. You're going to do Ganon's Tower because it's open. We saw you about to go into Ice Palace. We saw you change your mind to go to Ganon's Tower, and we also saw you mirroring from the Ganon's Tower location to check the tile room in Tower of Hera. Like, I was pumping your tires a little bit here, but just some excellent routing decisions there in getting to the sea. But just where that key was located made it required to check everything else before he went back down.
Yeah, at least we had the equipment to do everything pretty much efficiently. And there was a few locations that ended up being isolated in the end, but it always happens in the end.
Yeah, we know that there were two remaining chests in Swamp Palace that we checked, obviously, and they were the left side ones. Obviously, you went to the boss first, and that obviously is the correct play because you have to clear them out anyway. So do that first and then go back if you need to. There's our item count, by the way, 193 out of 216. I was kind of hoping for a 200 because I've never seen a 200, but we almost got there. Almost got there.
Now, if I'm not mistaken, this was game one of the set between you and Rywek, correct? There, so you're the one who ended up picking the settings there. What were your thoughts on why you picked the seed that you did?
I enjoy Christianity. I like that all dungeons makes the seeds longer, and I thought Expert was a good pick against my opponent.
Well, definitely play to your strength there, because you came out the victor here today. Any other thoughts or stories you'd like to tell about your thought process through the seed?
I don't think so. I guess. Thank you guys for the commentary stream. And we're gonna have our game to Saturday, I believe. At the same. Yeah, Saturday.
I'll check us on the schedule. I can advertise that right now if it is. Hold on a second here.
It's Saturday the 29th at 8:30 p.m.
I can confirm that. It's scheduled as a defeat Ganon inverted seed with the uncle guaranteed to have a sword. Uncle assured. And it's not going to be this silly, ridiculous expert difficulty either. So that's going to be on the December 29th, which is 2 days from now, 8:30 p.m. that these two are going to hook up again and race one more time. And Kyong will be going for match point. Rywek will be trying to get back in the match at that point to even things up and go to a random type of seed for the third game. So we do look forward to seeing that third game. Kyong, GG once again. We'll go ahead and we'll follow Rywek finishing here. In the meantime, look forward to seeing your race on Saturday.
So meanwhile here, we've got Rywek into the second phase of the Argus fight. This will be his last dungeon before Castle Tower. Alright, down goes Argus there, and we are into the final stretch here. As Rywek is now finished up got his last pendant there, we only have a wizard and a pig to take down. A magic pig. Alright, looks like Rywek is elected to just walk back to the castle. The Link's house isn't all that far away.
Yep, it's a very quick walk back up to Castle Tower. Yeah, it's a little annoying having to go through the castle again to get there, but you know both runners are going to do it, so it's not that big a deal. You have to do this to get up there. He's already been up there looking at the items earlier. Notice that Kyong did not check the items here earlier. He actually did not check these two locations himself. So Rywek did get these a lot earlier in the scene.
Interesting indeed, yes. Ooh, gets a beautiful double spin slash on both of the guards.
Very nice.
The guard didn't even notice. That guard didn't even notice that he was there. Just Rywek just nicked himself on a sword as he ran by. A little bit of a hit and run on that guard. A little bit of, excuse me, sir, shove aside to that one there, and we continue up the tower.
So I'm just going to put a little disclaimer note in here right now. In the SRL channel, Rywek had forfeit 6 minutes after Kyong finished, but he said he was going to keep playing. He didn't want to keep us waiting too long, apparently is the reason for that. But so his intention is to still finish the seed. He just wanted to put an official result in there. He is still trying to finish the seed in the meantime. So he wants to get the interview phase out of the way because I guess he's getting a little bit late for him, which I can understand. This was a really long and annoying seed to play.
Understandable.
So he might be doing his interview on the French channel a little bit early, but he will be joining us a little bit later as well, I believe. He wants to get it done before too long.
Well, thankfully he doesn't have all that much to go here. Just up to Aghanim and then just 2 boss fights in a row. Aghanim, Ganon, there we go. Alright, Rywek finishes up Aga 1 in short fashion there. Gets that full magic heal and the health refill. Not that he was missing all that much health. And here we're on to the Ganon fight for Rywek.
Yep, once again, it's time for the big pig.
Part of me wishes I could make like a parody version of that one hula dance song from The Lion King, but I can't think of anything good right now.
So he also has 8 hearts going into the Ganon fight. By the way, it looks like Kyong did have 2 of the heart pieces for the 9th heart, so there were just 2 left in the pool, it looks like. So that's what we're working with here.
I didn't notice when we found the 1 full heart container. Just out of curiosity, do we remember where that was?
I actually do not recall that. 193 locations, hard to remember a specific one sometimes. I don't remember at all. Maybe Chad can help us with that.
Yeah, possibly there. I mean, I don't remember it being there, but we have to have picked it up somewhere.
Okay, I can confirm at this point that Rywek did note that he is still going at this point, but he actually asked me to go ahead and call it a race here. We're going to leave it on in audio on him for now because the French broadcast is still going. He wants to do the interview with us before going to French. So he is asked to go ahead and be interviewed now as he is forfeiting the race officially. So we are going to invite him in to join us right now. That way, that gives the French restream a chance to chat with him about the seed as well after he takes another death or two here. He says he will not defeat Ganon at this point. Sorry to spoil that, but that's what he's asked us to do that here. He's having a hard time with Ganon, which is why he's down to 1 heart right now.
Well, it is a tough fight under any circumstance, so I can understand that.
Yeah, it is definitely a difficult fight, and as you see, he is coming through, and it looks like he looks like the audio actually just went off because he joined the channel with us here now. So he is. Rywek, are you still going after this? Or was this actually? Did you give it another go here?
Oh, I keep going for another like 8 minutes.
That's why you want to join. That's why you want to join. Okay. So
yeah.
It all makes sense now.
Yeah, it makes sense now why you wanted to come in early, because we would have been watching this for 10 minutes, obviously. So that makes sense why you wanted to come in early. So just let's bring up the interesting detail about the seed here. The hammer in Misery Mire and the lamp as well. Obviously, Palace of Darkness, you had to get the Misery Mire big key, so it's basically a double dip in some way there. But the bigger story is that Castle Tower small key.
Was that a story?
Well, given how hard it was to find, yeah.
That's usually the biggest pain in the butt is the Castle Tower key in all Dungeons Key Sanity. That's the trolliest item, really.
It really is, and it really showed that today. I don't know if you can see Kyong's statistics right now, but he had 193 of the locations actually picked up.
Wow.
And that just like you, that includes all of Ganon's Tower. That includes pretty much everything. The only thing, obviously, that we could name off about 8 locations we know he didn't pick up, but it's a challenge to figure out the 15 he didn't.
True. To be fair, I did not check the entirety of Ganon's Tower. I completely skipped left side and
that's interesting.
and all that stuff. Completely skipped it. It was a gamble I was already in my mind going to make once I got the Swamp Palace key. I figured, you know what, I'm just going to do Tile Room, and then I'm going to go up the stairs. But in Tile Room, I ran out of magic, so I went to get more magic on the right side. I figured, I'll get these 4, then I'll go up the tower.
Yeah, then I didn't even catch that you skipped some of those chests. That's a very interesting gamble to make, and very risky gamble to make, needless to say, because you would have had to go back if it was indeed in there. Fortunately, it wasn't. You know now that it was in Swamp Palace, and it was on the way to Argus, which is the ideal place for it to be at that.
For sure. But I kind of had to make the gamble because, like, at that point, I'm like, listen, I'm so far behind. Kyong is so much better than I am. You know, I have to skip some. And I decided to skip the largest pool of chests on my way to the end of the game.
I thought I heard Kyong trying to say something for a second. Maybe I'm mistaken, or was someone else trying to say something as well? Maybe not. I'm hearing things today. It's been 2.5 hours. I'm hearing things here today. But what did you think of that double dip scenario that I was talking about, with the hammer being in Misery Mire and the lamp both being right there? Like, that was the logic tie-in right there.
Well, it was definitely the logic, but it's... Well, was it really, though? Because you could go into Pod in the first place to get the Misery Mire big key. So it's Misery Mire... Misery Mire could have been cleared in one single go.
Yeah, Misery Mire was doable in one go. You had double tip Palace of Darkness no matter what happened. If you happened to go to Misery Mire before going to Palace of Darkness, you would have had double dip Misery Mire as well. Mm-hmm. Which I think both of you might have gone ahead and you might have both done Misery Mire in one shot. I think you both. I double dip Misery Mire.
I had a very chaotic routing, but that was kind of intentional because I was trying to, like, okay, well, the most logical play would be to go from A to B, but instead, because I'm trying to get an edge on Kyong in any possible way, I'm gonna go from A to M to S to C to sequence break T, and so on and so forth.
Try to turn it into a little bit of a clan fiesta?
It kind of did. It kind of did. I lost track of a lot of things, and I kind of forgot all the hints, too.
Yeah, there. Some again, a lot of the hints weren't very useful today. I mean, we knew there was some cash in Pyramid Fairy because there was a hint that there was cash with the fairy. Boy, was that right? Cash was in both chests in the Pyramid Fairy.
Mm-hmm.
We obviously there were some hints that we saw items that we'd already picked up. Ganon's Tower Big Key requires a bomb. Well, thank you, game. We already have that key. You mean this one, right?
Yeah.
So we still saw all those hints that were useless because we already had the item, but I can't remember a lot of hints that were actually very useful on top besides that today.
Well, I think I checked Mimic Cave, and then I remember, oh yeah, there was a hint about Mimic Cave having a map. Oops. But yeah. Well, that was the best I could do. Hopefully I'm gonna do better in our next race, which is in 2 days, Saturday night.
Yep, and noting again on the
yeah.
schedule,
Mhm.
that is the inverted Uncle Assured regular defeat Ganon. So that is again 8:30 p.m. on Saturday night. That is coming up. So keep your eyes peeled to the schedule for that one, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to see these two go at it again, Kyong going for match point, Rywek going to be going get back into the series here. I know you want to get to the French channel and get your time in chatting with them. Do you have any last thoughts regarding the seed with us before you head over there?
Hey, thank you so much for commentating and for tracking Vince Easter. Honestly, speed gaming's amazing, and the fact that I'm still in the top 16 right now is frankly absurd, but I'm going to take it.
Yeah, you go into
Well,
a tournament with a field like this, and you don't think, and you just think, yeah, I'm just a mediocre player. I have no chance. Then you get to this level, it's like, oh boy, everyone here is good now. I'm in even more trouble than I thought. But just being in this group is a remarkable achievement, nonetheless. And congratulations on getting this far as well, regardless of what happens in match 2 and possibly match 3.
Well, thank you.
Yep, and thank you for providing us with such a entertaining match today.
Oh, it was a genuine pleasure. Here comes my final attempt here.
This is your final attempt right now?
Yep, my final attempt is happening right now.
Okay, so after you fall here, then it is officially a forfeit. Well, it's already officially a forfeit in SRL because you put that in 6 minutes after Kyong finished, which is the only reason we're talking to you right now. So now it's official. You've stopped trying.
Yeah.
Okay, we'll send you over to the French channel then, so you can go ahead and get your interview time in with them. I know you're in there already, so we don't have to invite you in there. So hop over there. But thank you again for the great entertainment, and good luck in round 2. Thanks,
everyone. Bye.
Good game. So we're gonna go ahead and just review some items on the schedule here while we so that Rywek can have. Actually, let's put in the forfeit very quickly. Actually, he's got over the French channel, so he's good. So our tracker did mark the forfeit. We are good. Let's go ahead and review some items that are coming up on the speed gaming schedule, including in this tournament. We do have, in this tournament, there is a race at, this is the last, there were only 2 races today. This was the second. So this tournament, we're done for the day. But tomorrow at 12:20 in the morning, afternoon, 12:20 p.m. Eastern time, that is morning on the West Coast, we have In the Name of DT versus Furaimi. Those are, again, everyone in the top 16 is a good runner. These are 2 really good, really skilled runners. They're going to be racing in all dungeons, standard, Uncle Assured, hard, Randomizer. So we have Randomizer early tomorrow afternoon for those of you interested in that. Channel is not yet assigned, as with all the races I'm going to be naming on the tournament for tomorrow. We also have a race at 5:30 p.m. That's between Korek and Dracaris. That's going to be an all dungeons standard, Uncle Assured, normal Key Sandy. So a very basic type of seed with the Key Sandy thrown in. That should be a very fun seed, needs to say as well. Kind of like a throwback to the old Key Sandy tournament we had last year, I think, or early this year, whatever that was. One more race for tomorrow is at 9:30 p.m. That is between Wayne and Andy, 2 heavyweights. Either of them could win that match, I think. And that is a Ganon standard, Uncle Assured, normal seed without any additional limitations. There's no Key Sandy, no Randomizer, nothing like that on there, no retro. It's a basic standard seed. just like the old vanilla randomizer like we had a long time ago. So before all these variations came in. So a very generic seed, 9:30 p.m. tomorrow. Wayne and Andy, 2 heavyweights. It should be a treat watching them go at it. There's your 3 races for tomorrow. Just covering items on the speed gaming schedule right now, which I'm going to load right now. But while we do that, Phantom Fox, do you have any other thoughts regarding this seed or anything else going on today?
Well, that's going to do it for us today after we finish reviewing this, reviewing the schedule. This was indeed a very entertaining seed there. A bit of a long one, cresting the 2-hour mark there. Although for an all Dungeons Key Sanity, that's not the worst I've ever seen. A lot of a high completion rate there, but it was a good time going on that hunt for all those, for that hammer and for that lamp there, and for those pesky little keys that just didn't want to go be found.
And that's what tends to happen with the enemizers, with the key sanities as well. Those keys, they know how to hide when they want to hide, and they will hide. And your job obviously is to find them. So it can make things a lot trickier when you know you're in item go mode. You can clear every single dungeon, but all you have to find is those blasted little keys. Who knew it could be so hard?
Yeah, and of course they're always in the last place you look, and of course the one place you don't remember either.
Of course. So looking at the schedule right now, there are some races that are still going to be going on for a little while here, it looks like. There is a Super Metroid Link to the Past randomizer that started at about 8:30. It might be finishing up by now, so that one may be over, maybe in its finishing stages. That's on the main channel, and then the main channel will be done for the night. There is a Zelda 1 Metroid 1 randomizer going on, started literally 8 minutes ago. Check that out. That's going on Speed Gaming 2 right now. That's going to go for at least a few hours, I think. On Speed Gaming 3, we have another Super Metroid Link to the Past randomizer, so the Super Nintendo versions, started at 9:30. That one will still be on for a little while. In terms of other races on tomorrow, we have a... I'm not sure what this is, but let me actually take a quick look here. It is called the ALTTP Objectively Better Categories Marathon. That will be on Speed Gaming 2 tomorrow. I didn't even notice that until just now. I'm curious about that just as much as anyone else who hasn't heard of it yet. I'll be looking at that tomorrow. We also have Link to the Past, Rando. Actually, I already covered those races. We also have Delta Rune at 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock. Another Super Metroid Link to the Past at 2:30. That's actually on Speed Gaming 6. We're bringing Speed Gaming 6 out tomorrow. Not to mention some other events like the Final Fantasy IV Randomizer going on at 7 o'clock in the evening tomorrow night as well. So that and other events on the Speed Gaming schedule can be found by going to speedgaming.org/schedule. For this tournament, it's speedgaming.org/ALTTPR. In both cases, you can also type schedule in chat during any of these events, and you can get both of those links as well. So with that said, I want to again thank Vince Easter for doing our tracking today. And I also want to thank Phantom Fox for joining me on commentary today. It's been one glorious seed here today. I guess this. If you're watching a race like this and you think, well, that was a brutal seed. This is something that is just absolutely insane. Think of it this way: it's just another day in the office for these runners. They've seen a lot of seeds like this. This is nothing unusual for them.
Yeah, we've seen the where's that darn pesky key seeds there. We've had the Argus is invading everything and I don't have a hookshot seed. We've had where on earth are all the items there? We've got the I have to do what to get the moon pearl seeds? All kinds of things.
And you say Argus, but the better one is Trinex is at the end of 5 dungeons. Why can't I find my items seeds?
So yeah, we've got a lot of entertainment and the plenty of races left in this tournament there. So don't change that channel. We've got lots more coming on in the next few weeks.
Yeah, we have a lot still going on here. So Rywek is still interviewing over the French channel, but we are going to go ahead and just say we're going to go ahead and sign off here, and we'll leave the broadcast on while he finishes because it's tied to both of them. So with that said, I just want to thank everyone in chat again for tuning in. We couldn't do any of this without you. So if you weren't here watching, we'd just be talking to dead open space with no communication back, and it'd be pretty boring to say the least. So thank you, chat, for doing your thing as well. You make it all possible for us to do our jobs here. And always nice to see what you guys think as well and tie that into the broadcast too. So we want to thank you all again for watching. I am Cyclone. I've been joined by...
And I am Phantom Fox. Thank you ever so much for joining us for tonight there. Thank you again to all of our behind-the-scenes people again, and give a follow to our runners if you are so inclined for their delightful performance for today. So until next time, catch us if you can.
And also follow Speed Gaming 2 through 6, ALTTP Randomizer, ALTTP Randomizer 2 through 5 as well for all your speed running needs for Link to the Past Randomizer. With that said, have a great